I think it's correct that Elon is a strange guy who hulked out in a strange moment, but he probably did not intentionally do a Nazi salute. Runs away. It's awesome. Everyone who like considers themselves to be in the center left or the center right is just like actively being like, no, you don't understand. This is not a Nazi salute. Elon's a great guy. The tech economy is booming. Asmongold says Elon Musk's salute was unintentional. Also states that there's a 1% chance the Holocaust did not happen. I don't think these two statements are related. I think probably 99% certainty these clips are unrelated. Dude, why is he saying that there's a 1% chance the Holocaust did not happen? Like, are you that desperate to be edgy? Come on, Asmon. What the hell is wrong with you, bro? It's like the classic... Like, do I think Asmongold doesn't think the Holocaust didn't happen? No. I think he knows the Holocaust happened. 100% knows that the Holocaust happened. He's not like, but the very fact that he has to retain his gamer cred, he has to do this like weird debate thing where he's like, oh, well, there's a 1% chance it didn't happen. Like, it's such a stupid fucking thing to say, dude. Jesus Christ. Why do we care about what Asmon says? Because he's the largest political content creator on this platform, whether you like it or not, okay? He quite literally is, as it stands, the largest political content creator and the largest content creator on the platform, as a matter of fact. With 53,000 concurrent viewers, Asmongold currently is the largest political content creator on the platform, okay? So he just said he 100% believes the Holocaust happened. That's what I mean. I don't think that he's like, listen, I don't think Asmongold deep down inside genuinely is a Holocaust denier. I don't think he is at all. Okay. He 100% is doing this classic, like, he 100% is doing the classic, like, well, technically nothing is 100% certain. But when you're having this conversation, when you're having a conversation about something like this, especially in the process of defending Elon Musk doing a Sig Heil, yeah, you're going to look like you're trying to create a situation where you're saying, well, there's a likelihood the Holocaust didn't happen. And then also do it in a way where it's like, there's plausible deniability. You know what I mean? Come on, man. It's such a bad, like, you're appealing to Nazis when you do that. That's so dumb. Jesus Christ. Anyone think Elon a Nazi? You just a brain dead. Well, I guess I'm just a brain dead then. Okay. Jesus Christ. I agree with him. Hasanabi, I'm not brain dead. What do you mean? You agree with who? That Elon Musk is not a Nazi? I think Elon Musk, before he Sig Heiled, he was already very comfortable with neo-Nazi statements. And I have a long history of documenting all of the different things that Elon has done. But for liberals and for many people in general, like liberals and Republicans, who also are liberals as well at the end of the day, they need the optics of someone saying that they like Adolf Hitler, or they need the optics of someone just straight up hitting the Hitler salute, right? And lo and behold, even though he has finally hit it, okay, he has done a lot of other stuff that at the end of the day kind of ruins any sort of plausible deniability in the circumstance, almost as much as the fact that he hit it with his whole chest, okay? Have you seen Ben Shapiro pull an ADL on Twitter today? They're falling in line and sane washing him. Yeah. What? It's like when you joke about hating women like Andrew Tate, but you just kind of do. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm a certified woman hater. Exactly like Andrew Tate. One of Norway's largest news sources covered this, and you showed up in one of the clips. Yeah, the TikTok that we posted of that exact same clip that Vorlo posted also on Twitter it's just gone super viral. Partially because the timing of it is so perfect, I think. And my response to it is obviously very genuine, but like, look at this moment from yesterday. If you weren't in here, if you weren't tuned in here yesterday, I happened to tune in to Elon Musk talking, like delivering a speech And the timing of it could not have been any better. Let's take a look.
And I just want to say thank you.
Anyway, let's look at our one of these tech billionaire oligarchs speaking at the inauguration.
My heart goes out to you.
Did he just say Kyle?
It is thanks to you that the future of civilization. And I just want to say
Dude, like we clicked in to Elon Musk talking at the inauguration and he immediately sig heiled. You kind of move on really fast from this like it was a non-event. No, and then we found out that the camera actually panned away from him to the crowd in that specific video, but he actually turned around and sig heiled twice. He made sure to hit the sig heil on both sides of the stadium. Okay? He wanted to get all angles. He wanted all angles to be covered. Okay? He did it twice, man. He did it twice. Vorlo also clipped it and posted it on Twitter, and I'm surprised that he hasn't been banned yet. Because it got 17 million views with 256,000 likes. And Vorlo also delivered one of the most devastating ratios I've ever seen. This guy goes, "This you?" And he says, "Yes, it says my name on the tweet." 52,000 likes. You can do anything, and if you don't say you did it, then it's a pass. No, the point is you can do anything you want as long as you are a billionaire and very powerful and also right-wing and also align with the government. You can get away with it. Okay, that's it. That's it. And it's kind of shocking to me that it's happening right on the heels of all of these pro-Israel organizations that like lose their minds at random college students who are Jewish wearing a keffiyeh, claiming that they are like Adolf Hitler themselves, turning around and being like, come on. The right-wing billionaire who's aligned with the German neo-Nazi party, who actually opened the faucet on the platform that he purchased, who follows neo-Nazis, collaborates with neo-Nazis, openly highlights neo-Nazis, agrees with neo-Nazi sentiment, but he's pro-Israel, is obviously not sig heiling, even though he hit the full Hitler, okay? My man hit the full Hitler, okay? He didn't do the half Hitler. He didn't do none of these like, oh, I was just calling out for a cab or I was just waving off in the distance. He hit the full Hitler twice, okay? Twice, not once, twice. Yeah, I mean, this is also what's going on. Exactly. The political spectrum is just like Elon Musk just did a Nazi salute on live TV. Most people going, this is unacceptable. This is ridiculous. And then the far right's like, hell yeah, Elon Musk just did a Nazi salute on live TV. Meanwhile, you got the weird liberals in the center of the political equation just constantly doing this weird song and dance where they're like, no, don't you dare say that. Don't believe your lying eyes. Some of my favorite responses to this, however, was people saying some of my favorite responses to this have come from Batya Sungar Argon or whatever the her name is, being like, nah, he's just autistic, dude. Yeah, he got the Nazi type of autism, okay? There's different kinds. And instead of like being a train enjoyer, or I don't know, as Connor said, in being invested in Pokemon or whatever, he got the Nazi kind. It's the worst kind of autism to have. Okay? We know. You can't just be like, autistic. That's not, he's just autistic. He's not a Nazi. I mean, no, that's, what is this? As a German, let me tell you how to distinguish a Nazi salute from a friendly wave. Look serious, arm straight, not the slightest bit bent. Hand and arm form a single line, 4 fingers together tightly. Angle such that the hand is slightly higher than the head. Yeah, I mean, he hit it perfectly. Like, I don't know what we're talking about. He literally did the heart thing too. Like he pounded his chest and then hit it. Like he didn't even do the I'm just waving plausible deniability sig heil. He did the full Hitler. I don't understand how you can look at a man doing the full Hitler twice and going, I don't know. As a person with a strong track record of criticizing Elon Musk, I feel extremely confident asserting that this was not a Nazi salute. Elon is a friend of the Jews. This is a man with Asperger's exuberantly throwing his heart to the crowd. We don't need to invent outrage. He's just autistic, man. He's just, you don't understand. He's just that's his hyperfixation. His hyperfixation happens to be, you know, Nazi Germany. Ich Fahrtlo ought to take. False accusations of Nazism are incredibly harmful during a time when the mainstream media is letting the real Nazis, in parentheses, Hamas, have the mic without question. Dude, it's so awesome. It like, I do personally find this a little cathartic, okay, and a little funny to be honest with you, okay, that every single person that runs the table on defending Israel and constantly screaming anti-Semite at anyone that says this apartheid regime designed around Jewish ethno-religious supremacy that is currently doing a genocide is completely unacceptable and has nothing to do with Judaism. Every single person that turns around and says, that's the most anti-Semitic thing I've ever heard in my entire life, are turning around and going, this fucking neo-Nazi wasn't actually Sig Heiling because he's pro-Israel. That's all this is. That's all this is. It is so morally repugnant. They are so morally bankrupt. They do not care about real anti-Semitism. They only want to defend Israel. That's it. That's it. That is 100% the situation, okay? Yeah, I mean, here, there's a side-by-side videos. Yeah, dude, you don't understand. He's just autistic, bro. Chill. Those guys are all autistic too. They're just autistic Nazis. And so is Elon. Like, that's the full one, okay? It's not the half one. It's the full one. Do you understand? It's the full one. There's one side by side with Hitler too. I saw one as well, side by side with Adolf. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna run this again. Don't worry. We're gonna play this. This is a classic, obviously. But there is no, like, I love all of the people defending this. It's so funny. Remember when Elon responded to this and said, "You have said the exact truth." Enjoy this one. Oh, are you telling me that the guy who is exclusively tasked with having the wrong opinion on every issue, even when it's a fucking slam dunk issue, took the wrong opinion on this one as well? Nervously walks up to the mic, says, "Hutch, I think it's correct that Elon is a strange guy who hulked out in a strange moment, but he probably did not intentionally do a Nazi salute."
Hulked out?
Away.
That's what accusing the Hulk of being a Nazi?
Everyone who like considers themselves to be in the center left or the center right is just like actively being like, no, you don't understand. This is not a Nazi salute. Elon's a great guy. My take on the Elon Hitler salute thing is that it was unintentional in the sense that he intended to make it a more ambiguous hand gesture with plausible deniability, but completely f***ed it up. There's been like a couple clips from Republican speakers in the past few years where they sort of put up the Sig Heil and then quickly moved to the gesture they were consciously intending on doing. And I think he wanted to emulate that, but it's too uncoordinated. That's pretty funny. I love whenever people go, he didn't. These two, however, get bent. Like, this is my favorite. This is my favorite fucking thing that people do. Okay, first of all, I think Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, by the nature of their jobs, have done things that are inherently fascist. Having said that, however, I don't think that they were trying to do the Nazi salute in this situation, because if they were, you would have shown the video instead of them in that moment moving their hands and like waving to the fucking crowd. Guess what? We have the video. We have the video of Elon doing it twice. Why are they just simply posting pictures instead of the videos? Parents defending this, I don't know how to address it. Just literally show them this, okay? If anyone is confused about what they are seeing in front of them, just show them this, okay? Where's the double video? Oh, show them this. Show them that, okay? If anyone is confused on what they are seeing, Show them that, okay? And then show them, where is it? Where is it? This.
Team deathmatch. Remind those shitheads who they're dealing with. Nice.
Show them this. Then show them this. Okay. And then, okay, and then you can show them the double one, okay? Like the actual, like people that were there saw him doing it twice, okay? People there saw him doing it twice. But look, here's Barack Obama.
God bless you. God bless these United States.
Yeah.
Does he mean he wants to take us back before Roe v. Wade was enacted? Because we're not going back.
I don't even like these people. But once again, I find myself not defending them, but defending the truth, okay? I don't like these people. I think they have a lot of blood on their hands, okay? But you are delusional if you think that they were like
going back.
hitting the same shit, okay?
Thank you, America.
Here's the second salute video, okay? Does that look like... I mean, come on, guys. Come on, guys. What do you think is going on?
My heart goes out to you.
Yeah, he said, my heart goes out to you, Adolf Hitler. the part where he didn't. The part where he just said, my heart goes out to you, he meant to, you know, Adolf Hitler and the Fourth Reich. May it never die. That's what he meant. Yeah, he said, mine heart goes out to you. Apparently, I'm a Zionist and a Nazi. Yeah. Yeah. Great. I'm just going to post yes. The Hassanification of FaZe Clan. Wait, what? What do you mean? Wait, this got 25,000 likes?
Yo, you know what I realized? TikTok getting banned is low-key, and getting unbanned by Trump is low-key a power play by Trump. Good PR for Gen Z. I saw someone on Twitter say, yo, this is one of the best things Trump's ever done in his years of being president. Well, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Bro, he's coming for my job. The Hassanification of FaZe Clan. This got 25,000 likes. That's crazy. You taught him well. He's just brilliant, man. He's just brilliant. He's a brilliant guy on his own. He even have two timing of both as if he's saying the word in his head. Wait, what? Historically, they were Muslims who supported Nazism during 20th century. Wait, what? The Ween Glaze is crazy. That's my nephew, man. That's my nephew. That's my nephew, big dog. I just like... Sorry. That just opened up on its own. Twitter, run by a incompetent Nazi, of course, has a tendency to just like automatically start playing videos. This is the best response to show. Piers Morgan is defending it too. Of course he is. Elon Musk was very ill-advised to do this kind of salute to denote his clearly stated "my heart goes out to you" sentiment, but he obviously didn't mean it as a Nazi salute, and anyone who says he did is being a disingenuous idiot. Yeah, great stuff, man. I'm glad that like all of the villains, y'all are doing exactly what he wants. He did it exactly to get this chain reaction meltdown and get everyone to talk about him because his ego just ignored the man-child. This is my favorite type of like, I'm actually a brilliant guy take. This is the smart guy take, okay? The smart guy take is, hey, when the wealthiest person on the planet, perhaps one of the most powerful individuals on the planet, hits the Nazi salute twice on Trump's inauguration, and he is also a hand-selected person in the Trump cabinet, basically, okay? You should just ignore it. Yeah, he was just simply trolling. It's a 5D chess move, and you should ignore it. You're right, chatter. I should just ignore the wealthiest person on the planet, welcome back Henry Ford style, doing a Nazi salute on the stage when we are actually about to be in the post-Weimar era. Okay, we are literally in the heels of Nazi America. Okay, people will say America's always been fascist. America's always had like white supremacist attitudes. Fair, get it, I got it. Okay, and throughout America's history, we've had internment camps for the Japanese during World War II. Okay, not a great look, not great at all. We've had the Bracero program that was implemented with the mass deportation of 1.3, where I think almost 2 million people that were suspected of being Mexican. Some of them were just Americans that just looked Mexican, and they were mass deported, okay, twice. And now that is about to happen again. And this is before we talk about the Trail of Tears, Manifest Destiny, which Donald Trump brought up, by the way, as a positive. Said he's going to manifest destiny in Mars yesterday, okay? And he's also talking about doing the Bracero program again, this time for all migrants living on U.S. soil. That means 20 million people in concentration camps and mass deportations. And we're still going around and acting like this is just memes. You know what I mean? It's not memes at all. Yeah, this is a memeified version of the serious issues that are ongoing, okay? I think for a lot of people, they need to see the optics of it. And even in the optics front, Elon Musk is cooked on this regard, okay? But far before Elon straight up hit the Hitler salute twice, mind you, twice. Remember, hit it twice, okay? At the inauguration, far before he did that, you could tell that he has, at the very least, sympathies towards fascist policies. Like, what are we talking about? He linked up with the neo-Nazis in the AfD in Germany. He was beefing up the reform movement. He is linked up with Giorgia Meloni in Italy. Wherever there are internationally, Elon Musk is right there. Okay? Same thing with Israel, honestly. Israel has a shit ton of fascists. Elon also likes them too. So when he throws the Hitler salute, he's not doing it in an anti-Semitic fashion. He's doing it in a pro-fascist way, okay? Or rather, let's just say he is still anti-Semitic, I suspect, but he is also simultaneously very pro-Israel, okay? I think a lot of people just like look at the optics, okay? A lot of people look at the stupid fucking optics of the situation and only then do they come to terms with the reality. People don't have a tendency to look at what Elon Musk has done so far. Elon Musk has bought Twitter, turned Twitter into 4chan, okay? Unbanned every single neo-Nazi from the platform. Elon Musk follows prominent neo-Nazi accounts. Elon Musk continues to collaborate with prominent neo-Nazi accounts. Elon Musk continues to highlight prominent neo-Nazi sentiment. Elon Musk defends and agrees publicly with neo-Nazi statements like Jews are doing unrestricted immigration into the Western civilization from the undesirable third world populations in an effort to destroy and undermine Western civilization that is supposed to be for white people. Elon Musk has responded to that person and said, you have said the exact truth. That's Nazi shit. Like, that's just straight up. That is no different than Sig Heiling, okay? There is no plausible deniability in that regard. There is less plausible deniability in that situation where Elon Musk says, that's real, that really happened, okay? That is worse than throwing up a Sig Heil from my standards. But for a lot of people, they don't understand that, okay? I think you're misusing the term Bracero program. This came after the mass deportations. That was a mass import of farm workers. Source, I interviewed farm workers. Yes, I'm saying Bracero program because I don't want to say the actual name of the deportation operation, because the actual name of the deportation operation is a slur. So hopefully people will just simply look up the Bracero program and understand what I'm talking about when I talk about the mass deportations, because the actual deportations were called Operation WB. Now, I don't mean West Bank, okay? I mean dry front, but the reverse of dry front, okay? They called it Operation WB. That was prominently featured in the New York Times, by the way. It wasn't like, you know, people would just write slurs on the newspaper back then. All the time. What? Asmongold deleted yesterday's VOD to hide his response to the chat reacting to the rabbi speech. I didn't even see the rabbi speech, but I don't know. I don't know what the rabbi said. I don't know what Asmongold said. Anyway, yeah. So it's not just that like it's not just that Elon Musk has agreed with a lot of Nazis. Elon Musk also is personally constantly talking about how he believes in IQ and how he has to repopulate the planet with high IQ individuals. He has this very weird hyper focus on eugenics. Interesting. And potentially a breeding fetish. And it's something so glaringly obvious. He's talked about the Great Replacement, which is also Nazi politics as well. Now, the problem here is a lot of the right-wing, overtly fascist politics are so perfectly aligned with the Republican Party and modern right-wing politics that for many people, they go, wait a minute, what you're considering to be Nazi politics is what my grandfather believes, is what he watches on Fox News. And the argument is, yeah, duh, that's the point. I know. That's what, welcome to reality, okay? That is how a lot of actual ideological fascists are able to make their way into polite discourse, to public discourse, and make it seem as though their ideas are not immediately dismissed, but instead pretty appropriate for the time, okay? That's how you get someone like Stephen Miller to be Trump's immigration czar, right? Anyway, yeah, he replied to a Nazi blaming Jews for anti-white hate. Yes, I know. People are saying that he was also his grandfather was a Nazi or something. I don't know. I don't know about this stuff because I don't really trust Elon Musk. I feel like he's even more of a fraudulent individual than Elon. Like, he sucks. So anything he says, I'm always gonna take with a grain of salt, right? He's a bit of a charlatan, a huckster.
Africa from Canada, because they sympathized with the Afrikaner government. They used to support Hitler and all that sort of stuff, but they didn't know. Obviously, I don't think they knew what the Nazis were doing. But they in Canada they were in the German party in Canada, and they sympathized with the Germans. Yeah. So when the Afrikaners government came into power here in 1948, then May's father, who was quite an interesting guy, he was a very good pilot. He said he wants to be with the Afrikaners because he agrees with apartheid, you see. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And he came out here with his family.
And didn't that cause tension with you because you don't?
Yeah, that caused a lot of tension with me. And because I was a director of NUSAS, which was a National Union of South African Students, which is a very anti-apartheid body, you know. And I argued with them a lot. And they used to tell me, they used to be like rude to me, you know. And the parents, and then
Themasius, what is this? Come and salute your heart out the right way in our Discord. Bro, they're playing so fast and loose with like really messed up shit. And they're doing this at a time. They're doing this at a time when like there is no, the thing is there's no cancel culture, right? Like, it's not a real thing. Everybody fucking hates it. There is no social pressure. And a lot of that stuff is nowhere near. A lot of that stuff is nowhere near as powerful as it once was in like the 2016 era. Like, you can't meme about this stuff, man. You can't meme about this stuff. You are literally opening up your community to straight up Nazis. You're inviting Nazis to your Discord. That shit sucks, man. It's not funny. It's not a fucking meme. It's completely unacceptable. Okay. Like, that's ridiculous, dude. Surely your haters will zero in on that community since they care about anti-Semitism. No, they won't, because they don't care about anything. They don't actually care about anti-Semitism. They're fucking, they've said way more. They've said actually anti-Semitic shit I never have. Okay? No, they care about getting me banned to get a win, to get a W for their favorite content creator. It's so sad and pathetic. You said the Holocaust probably happened. Dude, Asmongold 100% is not a, I will say this, okay? I will say this. It is not a defense of Asmongold. Asmongold, I'm not covering him. he knows the Holocaust happened. Okay. He is not a Holocaust denier. But the very fact that he is like teetering along the edges of this kind of sentiment while simultaneously defending Elon Musk is completely unacceptable. Okay. That's it. Like, oh, I said 99% that it happened. There's a 1% likelihood of it not happening for anything on the planet. Like, I get that. Okay. I understand it, but it's just like, it's ridiculous. Do you think that focusing on other examples of Elon's anti-Semitism, obsession with eugenics and fascist ideologies like the ones you just talked about could be a better focus when talking to median voters and centrists, opposed to just talking about Elon doing the Nazi salute because of the way the left is characterized as overreaching and the way that the right has tried to disprove it? Yeah, I think that it is important. But the real reason why it's important is because a lot of liberals don't understand all of this stuff is also Nazi stuff, and probably way more important in terms of like proving that someone has at least an allegiance to or an interest in like fascist and neo-Nazi opinions. And that is why I use this as a teachable moment for a lot of people. You know, you wouldn't be this nice if it was any other streamer. That's not, no, this is like, what are you talking about, dude? No, it's completely unacceptable. What the fuck do you mean? What do you want me to say? Like, what are you guys saying? I don't understand. Like, first of all, it's not just about Asmongold, okay? This is my attitude for virtually every single person that I cover until they have shown that they are, you know, completely fraudulent, not interested in anything, no nuance whatsoever, and like are very obviously a right-wing commentator. Even then, I will still offer them grace and nuance, okay? While still simultaneously being critical. And that's what I do all the time. And many people that come in here to fucking yell at me and say, you're not going hard enough, are simply invested in the drama of it. You're moving away from the actually important points that I want to make. The actual point that I want to talk about is why Elon Musk, the wealthiest, the richest person on the planet, is a fucking neo-Nazi. And you're like, well, you didn't sufficiently say Asmongold is entertaining Nazis in his community. I did, okay? I did. Like, what is this?
We're not going back.
It's kind of worse.
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
We're not going back.
Is that worse?
Bro, what is everybody doing, man? What is everybody doing? What the fuck is going on? We've just completely lost the goddamn plot, bro. What the fuck is happening? Actually, what's happening right now? What's going on? Why is everyone on the platform behaving like this? People need to fucking figure it out, dude. People need to fucking figure it out. Purposely misinterpreting things like this works for the right wing. They know this. I know, but I don't look. I'll say the same thing. Do I think XQC Felix Lengyel is an ideologically committed Nazi who is secretly trying to cast this deflection and doing that because he is like serving the higher purpose of like spreading Nazi sentiment? No. And if you think yes, if your answer is yes, he's doing that deliberately, you're fucking delusional. Do I think, on the other hand, that he has spent a shit ton of time with a lot of reactionary people and his brain has been completely fucking fried? So now he finds himself very malleable and very susceptible to like right-wing framing on issues because that's just how it works. And that's my assessment of it, okay? Do you think that he's an ideologically committed Nazi, or do you think he's malleable and being used in this regard? I think it's the second thing. I don't think it's the first thing, okay? And if you don't understand, if you always think it's the first thing and not the second thing, I think he's probably dick riding Elon, okay? He knows that Elon watches him, just like Asmon knows Elon watches him as well. They're dick riding and trying to defend a very powerful, very famous person that they know watches them, okay? That's it. And in that process, they're just like, you know, throwing whatever sticks, like throwing shit at the wall and hoping it sticks, okay? It's still Nazi apologia. It's still unacceptable. But there is a genuine difference between what they're doing and what like someone who's ideologically committed to the project is doing. And if you don't understand that difference, you are going to come across as like hysterical to the average normie who might actually say something very similar to XQC, partially because they watched XQC, okay? And it's important. It's important to make these distinctions. It is not a defense of this person. It is not a defense of Asmongold, but it's important to make these distinctions because there is a difference. There's a difference between someone like Nick Fuentes, or there's a difference between someone like Richard Spencer, and then random people who end up defending those, not Nick Fuentes or Richard Spencer, but like random people who end up defending Elon Musk doing this, because normies can be converted. Normies can have their minds changed, okay? But if you go into a conversation with a normie with that same energy, that person is like a committed ideological Nazi invested in the Nazi project, you are not going to be able to talk to them normally. So that's the reason why I take this careful approach when having this conversation. XQC himself is not a normal person. I'm not saying he's a normie, but he does represent the normie position, the normie right-wing position in general in this situation. Okay? This is very important to understand. Neither XQC nor Asmongold are personally normies. And neither is Moist Critical, but it doesn't matter. Moist Critical is the normie Jesus, right? For a reason. These guys have takes that other people are going to repeat. They have takes that resemble the uneducated position, okay? And it's important to understand where this position comes from so you can, you know, do your very best to have these conversations with people in your immediate vicinity, people in your lives, okay? If you cannot, but by the way, when people goes, was Charlie's take okay? Did hear this? No, I didn't hear. I'm not saying Charlie said anything about this. I'm sure Charlie would be daggering Elon. He is the other side of the normie spectrum. So I'm just, I wasn't implying that Charlie had a pro Elon take or something, chat. I'm using him as an example of like a normie position, a person who is not a normal human being, a very wealthy individual who has a massively successful YouTube channel, but obviously arrives at like a normie position all the time. Do you understand? Anyway, my point is there are a lot of people that will see this faucet of communication from both mainstream outlets being like, what kind of gesture did Elon do? And then maybe even people from independent outlets that, you know, listen to XQC's take or listen to Asmongold take or whoever's take, right? And they will repeat those takes. They will regurgitate it without thinking about it. And if you encounter one in the wild, you can't have a conversation with them like they're a fucking ideological Nazi. Because if you do that, they're just done. You're never going to be able to convince them of anything. Okay? Do you understand? Why even try to contextualize it? They're being useful idiots for Nazis. You don't go back from that. No, I don't disagree with you. I think at some point you have to stop infantilizing these people. They're influencing hundreds of thousands. They don't get treated with kitty gloves about Nazism. There's a couple different reasons, because a lot of context and nuance in the argumentation gets lost, and this could very easily have been clipped in a way. I don't know what the full breadth of this XQC or Asmongold's coverage is on the matter, and I don't have enough time to watch it. That's number one. No, don't say it's because they're my friends, okay? That's not the case. Okay, and I'm sure that they have both defended Elon Musk for the reasons that I mentioned. But it's important to understand that, because if you encounter an XQC fan or an Asmongold fan in the wild, this is a more effective way to actually undermine the people regurgitating those positions. You can just be like, yeah, I think, one, Elon Musk is absolutely a Nazi. Here are the reasons. And two, I think Asmongold or XQC is probably defending them because they know that Elon Musk watches them and they're powerful. Elon Musk is a powerful person. Do you understand? And now we have completely moved on. Now we have completely moved on from the main point of contention that isn't even a point of contention at all, in my opinion, to what fucking Twitch streamers are saying. Okay? And it's stupid.
The hand is more down, more flat, more towards the ground, you know?
Do you understand? Hassan just tried to make a greater point about de-radicalizing normies, and chatters are like, actually, no, cover Asmon drama. I want drama, drama, drama. Exactly. The Asmon or XQC point of this conversation is a minor sidestep. it's not it doesn't play a major role in this commentary because there are fucking adults in here, okay? And although these guys are fairly prominent content creators on this platform, and therefore it is important to cover their takes on issues like this, obviously, I'm not going to spend a good bit of time on what they have said. What is this?
People are mad about that Elon, like doing the, they really think that they think he just masked off to, they do. They actually think he masked off to like a Nazi salute.
Yeah, all the non-Twitch normie influencers I know are losing their minds over the Nazi salute. Is literally just Twitch brain rot. I know. And it's really, we got to squash this, okay? This has to be squashed, like 100%. The fact that people are even like,
You really think that shit's happening,
going
right?
like,
I mean,
oh man, it's not a Nazi salute. Elon's not a Nazi. Like, oh man, what the fuck? Like, you are playing a very dangerous game, whether you recognize it and think that it's not that dangerous, or whether you don't recognize it, doesn't matter, okay? I can't help but feel like we have elevated the openness of you know, neo-Nazi sentiment, to such a degree that like a couple years prior, we would talk about the CPAC stage looking like Nordic runes, and everyone was like, oh look, but there's like Nordic runes. They designed it as Nordic runes deliberately to communicate to everybody through secret messages that it's like they're Nazis. It's like, have you heard what the speakers are saying on top of the fucking stage? They're literally Sig Heiling all the time with their words, okay? They're like, we should kill every, you know, Mexican person, and you're like, well, you know, the stage is designed in a way that actually looks like a Nordic rune, so maybe they're Nazis. Like, that's so stupid. Just focus on the words that are coming out of the mouths of these fucking reactionary assholes. Goes for Elon. But in this situation, it's not even a fucking esoteric Nordic rune. It's him hitting the full Hitler. What the hell is going on? It's completely in broad daylight. Like, he thought he could have this discourse. He thought he could get away with it, okay? Like, what are we doing? I mean, look at that. Yeah, here's another one.
We lost B.
Does this not strike you as odd? Like, what are we doing here? Look at this. Like, that's why the video is more significant, because there are a million clips of politicians saying like, bye, doing this, you know what I mean? And then like they get caught, and then they get clipped, and then they're like, oh, they're doing this in Heil too. Okay, look at the video. What are we talking about? Even I joked about this, and I was like, yeah, he's just trying to prove his gamer cred. You know what I mean? He was like, no, I am a capital G hard R gamer, trust. But like, it is pretty obvious if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and Sig Heils like a duck, that duck's a fucking Nazi, okay? What are we doing? This man has said far too many Nazi things and has so frequently been aligned with Nazis for you to turn around, and far too invested in eugenicist sentiment, and also far too invested in the Great Replacement conspiracy theories and shit that you have to be insane to go, oh, well, that guy also seemingly yet again had another oopsie. It's not an oopsie, you know? Like, I don't understand. Did the Neuralink brain chips, did they get implanted in people's brains already? Is that why we're in this situation where people are seemingly defending this and going, oh, I don't know, Hassan, you know? What the fuck's going on? Like, I've seen people saying he's autistic, he doesn't know any better, which is ridiculous, okay? I've seen people say he went to Israel, how could he be a Nazi? And I'm like, that literally further solidifies that he is. Because people don't understand that, like, there are a shit ton of prominent fascists, okay, who love the concept of sending all the Jews to the desert, okay? That's it. They love that shit. Like, it doesn't... People are still operating on the old hat attitude of anti-Semitism, okay? They don't understand that you can be anti-Semitic and also be pro-Israel. As a matter of fact, more anti-Semites are pro-Israel than not. If you look at the number of people who are pro-Israel, okay, across the board, the number of anti-Semitic people who are pro-Israel probably outweighs the number of people who are not anti-Semitic and pro-Israel, okay? Look at the Christian Zionist movement in this goddamn country. They are far larger than Jewish Zionists in this country. Far more prominent than Jewish Zionists in this country, okay? Look at Christians United for Israel. This is a conversation I've had a million times over. And those guys are very anti-Semitic, okay? How the fuck does that make sense? It makes sense because their primary mode is still fascism, okay? There are religious justifications for it amongst the Christian Zionist movement, where they think Jews are the holy sons of God and that they have to go to the desert so that once they populate that entire area and it's just Jews there, Jesus Christ will come back to earth and fight the coalition forces of the devil in Megiddo, and then the rapture will happen. And you know what happens to all the Jews during the rapture? They go to fucking hell. They burn in hell permanently. So it's not necessarily an allegiance that is born out of loving Jewish people, but instead it's more so to trigger this anime style, like, end of the world event. That's what they believe. That's what's crazy too, because every time I bring this up, every time I explain this like insane thing, people go, no. There aren't tens of millions of Americans who legitimately are invested in this. And then they find out that 52% of Americans believe angels exist. And an even larger percentage of Americans think Jesus Christ is going to come back to earth and trigger the rapture in our lifetime. And by and large, in the eyes of a lot of people who might be anti-Semitic themselves and
Jacob, you dastardly fiend, what have you done? What are all of these people? Why are they so white? Jacob, what is this? What have you been doing during all those years on the island of Patmos? I sent you there to the seminary. What were you really doing, Jacob, my son? My beautiful, large-headed scientist boy, I never would have thought that you would go and create the white race to destroy us all, Jacob.
Not like Jews, they still also think Muslims are the far greater threat. And in their minds, in their calculation, it's like, one, we're sending all the Jews over there. Great, okay? Two, then those Jews get to fight our greater enemy, the Muslims. Let them fight. That's the calculation that many people make. We are boiling the frog at this point. People don't notice gradual changes until it's too late to react. And and now they can't believe what they're seeing, so they have to make excuses for blatant Nazism. And this is all being exacerbated by places like the New York Times saying this is just a hand gesture. I know. Meanwhile, the Nazis are freaking celebrating it big time. They're like, this is great. This is great. Here, let's watch this clip real quick for no particular reason whatsoever. It's one of my favorite memes, okay? I'm gonna go pee real quick.
Wie bitte? Haben Sie mich gerade als Nazi beschimpft?
Na, Sie sind doch einer.
Das ist ja eine Unverschämtheit. Nur weil ich in der NSDAP und in der SS bin, bin ich noch lange kein Nazi. Wahrscheinlich bin ich auch noch rechtsextrem, oder was?
Ja, aber was sollen Sie denn sonst sein?
Ich bin vielleicht ein besorgter Bürger, der Angst vor Überfremdung hat. Aber ich bin nicht rechts. Und ich bin erst recht kein Nazi. Hey, Sie da? Sehe ich etwa wie ein Nazi aus?
Nö, würde ich jetzt nicht sagen.
Na, sehen Sie? Aber der ist wahrscheinlich für Sie auch ein Nazi, hm? Nazis, 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 lauter Nazis. Wenn einem die Argumente ausgehen, dann holt man schnell mal die gute alte Nazikeule raus.
Es hat doch nichts mit Nazikeule zu tun.
Sie machen sich das Leben sehr einfach. Nur weil jemand die Mainstream-Meinung nicht teilt, ist er gleich ein Nazi.
Aber Nazi sein ist doch längst Mainstream. Ihr Nationalsozialisten seid an der Macht.
Ach ja, ich vergaß. In Ihrer Welt sind ja alle Nazis. Der Führer ist wahrscheinlich für Sie auch ein Nazi, was?
Ja?
Jetzt reicht's aber. Führerbeleidigung. Mitkommen.
Das sind jetzt über...
Ja, ich weiß. Nazi-Methoden.
Blutrote Rosen sollen dich umkosen.
Sie haben also das Browser-Ballett noch nicht abonniert.
Perfect. Perfect video for the occasion. How dare you? How dare you call me a Nazi? Excuse me.
This is embarrassing, but just for the record and just so we have it.
The ADL to Elon, by the way, in their last second defense, that was awesome. That was amazing. Like, not even in my wildest imaginations did I think that the ADL would just like openly show their moral bankruptcy to this degree. You know what I mean?
You are not and have never been a member of the Nazi Party of the United States, have you?
Come on, Tom, are you serious? Nope.
Thank you. Sorry to have to even ask. And, oh yes, the Hitler dog thing.
Okay, the dog thing's bullshit. Great, I thought so. Different spelling.
Okay, different spelling?
Yeah.
Okay, and this other one that came up, just to fend this off, have you ever read Mein Kampf?
Yeah, a couple times, I guess.
Couple times? Are there Easter eggs in there you didn't get the first time?
Look, I'm interested in that period of history, Tom, okay? I've skimmed it.
Just a couple times.
One just wasn't enough.
I think this might be the issue. Everyone thinks it'll be like the movies. It will be much more subtle. Dude, what are you talking about? There's nothing subtle about a guy who constantly, like, a guy who constantly talks about high IQ, populating the gene pool with high IQ individuals, about how immigrants are coming in to, you know, destroy the gene population of the superior genes that the Western civilizations have. A guy who literally openly aligns with Nazis over and over again and defends them on numerous occasions, Sig Heiling on one of the most prominent stages on the platform, like on the planet. Like, it's not subtle at all. What are we talking about? What do you want him to do? Grow the mustache? That's it. That's the final stage, I guess. Like, it's not even subtle. That's the crazy part, you know? There's no subtlety to it. He just doesn't have he didn't put the uniform on, he didn't have the haircut, and he doesn't have the mustache. So I don't know. I'm not convinced. And at the end of the day, I think you inevitably have to arrive at this like crazy conclusion where you're just like, you know, no one is really a Nazi. Only Adolf Hitler, and maybe even he wasn't a Nazi at all. And maybe Nazis were misunderstood. Like that is the final stage of this argumentation. You know what I mean? That's where we're at, where people just go, yeah, maybe they didn't have all the bad ideas. I think you're exaggerating. Okay, Ismail, fucking shut up. I haven't seen the clip, but I'm sure you lefties are blowing it out of proportion as usual. Why do prominent Hostwit users, power users, come in here to act like they're just naysayers? Like, this person is memeing. This person is behaving like they are genuinely curious and baiting, but they know what's up. Yeah. Haas Twitter power users get one super viral tweet and they start acting brand new in the chat. You see that? Thinking that they won't get banned for a second. Portrait of ADL CEO Jonathan Greenblatt for Jewish Currents. It seems that Adolf made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, but he never said free Palestine. So let's all take a deep breath. Yeah, I think it's simply the general public's inability to comprehend important history repeating itself before their eyes because history seems so far away and could never happen to them. I do find it very funny that people on Twitter versus in chat, why is XG defending Elon doing the Sig Heil?
Don't make me return fire.
So I'll just say, I do find it somewhat funny, but also very scary that we are now officially on the stage where maybe a couple years ago you'd go, oh, well, this person didn't Sig Heil, so obviously they're not a Nazi too. Well, this person Sig Heiled, but obviously he's not a Nazi. Okay, we've moved on. We've moved on from the person who says Nazi shit all the time, who, you know, accidentally Sig Heils on the inauguration twice, okay, in front of the largest crowd he's ever been in front of the entire planet. We've moved into, yeah, he actually didn't mean it, and he's still not a Nazi. And it's funny because, like, liberals have this weird tendency to only abide by the aesthetics of a certain thing. Like, liberals, weirdly enough, only care about the optics. They don't actually understand when someone is saying Nazi shit. Like, they don't have a tendency to look at that and go, yeah, that's like, you know, this is fascist, this is reactionary, this is racist. I'm not invested in this at all. I don't care what this person has to say. But even on the optics front, it seems that there are still people who have been hit right in the face with what is going on. Like, this is the equivalent of just having a swastika tattoo, okay? And they're still going, I'm not convinced. I don't know what will convince you if this does not, okay? This is the equivalent of saying, well, it's the swastika is, you know, historically a Buddhist symbol of peace. Maybe he's a Buddhist. Maybe I was unfamiliar, but he is a Buddhist, I think.
I'm not an emotional thinker, okay? Like, so I can't appeal to people emotionally. But what I can say is that every part of my logical brain is telling me that this was not an intentional Nazi salute. This was not any nod at any sort of like Hitler Nazi stuff at all. And it was just Elon being stupid.
Yeah, he also is a...
I'm
Why
not
does
one of
Elon
these
get a
Holocaust
stupid
deniers. I think the Holocaust probably happened. Probably 99% certainty it happened. And the
controversial take. Oh, I gotta hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, for normal people, when someone says, oh, I think the Holocaust probably happened, people get freaked out. I don't know if Asmongold realizes that at all. Like, this is nutty, man. This is a dangerous game. This is a very, very, very dangerous game to play. You know, bro thinks it's a cleaning soap manufacturer that says this goes 99% instead of 100% for legal claims. Yeah. I like that, you know, the second era of the Burger Reich has started off with a bang, you know? Please tell me you covered this bullshit, the Lake and Riley Act? Yes, I did. I did. Of course I covered it, and I will cover it further today. All right. Anyway, that's a crazy thing to say, man. That is just like insane. But yeah, you got the New York Times going, Elon Musk ignites online speculation over the meaning of hand gesture. Like, Elon Musk's Sig Heils is the actual thing that took place, okay? Did Elon Musk just hit the Roman salute at his inauguration speech or something like your popular streamer asked on X? Dude, if you link me the Havara Agreement Wikipedia page one more time, I think I'll finally click on it, okay? Like, I finally will click on it one day, okay? Stop. Jesus Christ. Yes, I know. I know it exists. I've talked about it a lot. Okay. You didn't say the Roman salute yesterday. No, I said the Roman salute as well, but it doesn't matter to me. The Roman salute is the Hitler salute. Like, what are we talking about? Do you think the salute is deliberate or just autism? I think Elon Musk absolutely is an ideologically committed racist fascist. Okay. Whatever version of that he is, I do not care. You can call it a Nazi, you can call it a fascist. It does not matter. I 100% think that he is, and it would be very shocking to prove that he is not. It would be a very difficult task to prove that he is not, especially considering that he has done so many things. Yeah, my tweet says Roman salute, but it doesn't matter. It's the same shit. Like, I wasn't using Roman salute here to like defend Elon Musk. It's, to me, that makes no difference. You have factual posts or actions. I would like to see it. Smile. Factual posts or actions about this situation. I don't know how many more times I can describe this, man. Yeah, what is it? Is it the smartest man in the world, or did he not do it on purpose? No, I don't think Elon Musk is a particularly smart individual, okay? But I do think that he is very racist, okay? And I think he thought he could hit that and, you know, basically have some semblance of plausible deniability, but he failed to do it in a way where there was any plausible deniability whatsoever. And now everyone that saw it are like, oh, dude, you're a fucking Nazi, you know? But of course, all of the institutional defenders who are tasked with supposedly combating anti-Semitism have decided to defend Elon. Why? One must ask the question, why is the ADL defending Elon Musk? It's because he's pro-Israel. Okay? That's it. That's it. That's all it takes. Okay? You are on Fox News.
We had our top people, Wasserman.
What?
They all came in on the Olympics, and then I saw Johnny, and we got the World Cup too. And you know, it's only the 26 and 2028.
What are you talking about?
And I said, I won't be there. I won't be your president.
Did you just bait me into watching Trump admits he rigged the inauguration? Is that what you're saying? But aren't Israeli Jews about Musk? Sorry, I wasn't listening, just tuning in, being Nazi. Oh my God. Dude, you can be a anti-Semite and support Israel. Many anti-Semites support Israel, okay? Israel is also a fascist ethno-state. So there is a mutually shared love for doing that kind of racist ethnic cleansing campaign. But more importantly, the reason why a lot of anti-Semitic people love Israel is because in their minds, they think better that they go and live in the desert than here in my neighborhood. Okay? That's a major reason for a lot of anti-Semitic people to also love Israel. This doesn't mean that there aren't anti-Semitic people that don't love Israel. There certainly are. Okay? Plenty. A ton of Eastern Europeans work with the Nazis, even though the ideology explicitly dehumanized them. Yeah, I mean, there's that too. But also, okay? The other reason why plenty of anti-Semitic people love the other reason why plenty of anti-Semitic people love Israel is because Israel fights against their other enemies, okay? They fight against their other enemies, the Muslims. The way they see the situation is like, oh, let the Jews fight the Muslims, you know? We hate both. Let them fight. Great. That is the way that they approach the situation. Another reason why a lot of anti-Semitic people love Israel is because they believe that the rapture will happen if Jews take over the entire historical area that they have called Israel. Far greater and far more expansive than the current confines of the Israeli state. There are many different reasons why people who are anti-Semitic still end up defending Israel. I know it's such an insane thing to believe, but it doesn't matter. People still believe it, okay? Yeah, also, AOC also daggered ADL, respect. Just to be clear, you are defending a Heil Hitler salute that was performed and repeated for emphasis and clarity. People can officially stop listening to you as any sort of reputable source of information. Now you work for them. Thank you for making that crystal clear to all. Like, that's what's going on, baby. That's where we're at. Is it a coincidence that every verified account is lying and defending Elon? Anyway, all right. We're going to move. Oh, this was the last thing that I thought was really funny before we move on from the Elon shit, okay? Also, Trump's UN ambassador nominee Elise Stefanik was asked if she agrees with Smotrich and Ben-Gvir that Israel has a biblical right to the entirety of the West Bank, and she replied with, yes. Ben Shapiro, you are officially one of the stupidest and most dishonest people in the country, to AOC. And to prove that Elon is not a fascist and not a Nazi, he showed this post where Elon had to, play ball with the ADL, promote Israel, and also go to, I think this was in Auschwitz, to prove that he is, to prove that he was truly sorry for saying, you have said the absolute truth to a neo-Nazi who was talking about how Jews are doing the great replacement. And it's pretty funny because, Ben Shapiro has time and time again reiterated the position that he does not care about anti-Semitism. He simply cares about anti-Israel statements. Okay? Why did Elon visit Auschwitz? Yeah, why did he visit Auschwitz? Here's Ben retweeting a known Nazi. That's so funny. It's got to be a really funny moment where, one of the most prominent right-wing Jewish voices is openly retweeting one of the most prominent Nazi cartoonists. Awesome. Yeah, here is Elon Musk saying, you have said the actual truth to this guy who is a Nazi going, Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. I'm deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest shit now about Western Jewish populations coming to the disturbing realization that those hordes of minorities that support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. You want the truth said to your face? There it is. Elon responded to that and said, you have said the actual truth. Yeah. Bestie Marks was really funny with his take. He said, Elon Musk is not a fascist. Here's proof of him standing next to me, a fascist. Yeah. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Blau, deadass, I don't think it was intentional. I think he's just mad awkward with his body. I think, first of all, even if he didn't do this, okay? Even if he didn't do this, Blau, he has done far too many Nazi things for me to say that he's not a fucking Nazi. Far too many, okay?
Yo, how do you seek hell accidentally in the doing it perfectly? Perfect seek hell. Accidental. It's like I do like a triple backflip on accident. He did it perfect. It was tens across the board as far as his Nazi form, his timing. It was the perfect seek hell. He even turned around and he was ready for a third one. You can tell. He had his hand. He went forward, backwards, flipped around, came back around with the hand over the heart, ready to bang out another one. He's kind of like, he felt like he could have. He felt so empowered. His white pride was shining off the stage, y'all. Fucking Nazi cunts. Anyone who's cool with this should fuck you. Go to jail. Punk. Go to Nazi jail, you Nazi fucks.
Look at Twitter. Number one, look at Twitter. Number two, look at the prominent Nazi accounts that he follows and regularly highlights and retweets on Twitter. Look at the, bro, please, I'm trying to celebrate the 1% chance my family was just at summer camp. Okay. Elon Musk is also openly aligning with the AfD and other prominent neo-Nazi movements around the world. And also, he definitely hit the fucking full Hitler. Blau, are you fucking stupid? No, he's joking, chatter. What the fuck are you talking about? Blau is Jewish. I think the most like charitable interpretation of the situation is what Liv Agar said, which is that he wanted to do it in a way where there was like some kind of plausible deniability where he could do a subtle nod, but because he's too fucking cringe, he was incapable of contorting his body in a way, and he actually ended up doing the full salute rather than like one that would have given him a little bit of plausible deniability. I think Elon Musk just knows that he's also the most powerful person on the planet and completely untouchable, you know? That's it. JVP came with the receipts. Last year, Musk attacked the ADL for being a Jewish group. Now the ADL is defending him for a Nazi salute. And instead of addressing anti-Semitism, the ADL is excusing it. The ADL is telling us loud and clear, its priority is shielding the Israeli government from accountability at any cost. I mean, that's 100% true. Yeah, he should have just kept doing the pure X move instead of this new shit that he's trying out. Guess who Ben Shapiro retweeted after the Nazi comic dude? Fatlo. I'd like everyone who thinks Elon Musk gave a Nazi salute to give a fraction of that energy to this. And also, Fatlo is posting Drew Pavlo. Wow, all of my goats. Ben Shapiro, Fartlow, Drew Pavlo, and Stone Toss. All united, dude. All united. Just the worst possible political minds that have gotten together. Cool. Cool. Nightmare blunt rotation. Very cool. God. I do in some, like, it is a weird situation because like oh god, they're doing the more like Hitler like dogs too. they're trying to still continue defending Elon Musk. They're defending Elon Musk like their life fucking depends on it. Jesus Christ. I want to see what eFatlo tweeted. What the fuck? The eFatlo tweet? God, Ben tweets so much. It's crazy. Oh, eFatlo tweeted some other thing. Drew Pavlov, breaking terrorist firebomb and bombing attack on Jewish preschool in Sydney. Terrorist break, fuck the Jews. I thought they just wanted the ceasefire. We need mass arrests and deportations for Islamist extremists. Wait, I don't understand. Why do you see this and immediately assume that this is, you know, the Islamists who are pro-Hamas or whatever did this? Also, hold on. I need to figure out if they, I need to figure out if the perpetrators of this obviously anti-Semitic hate crime support Israel or not, first of all. Because if they support Israel, then, you know, maybe there's a defense of it. Yeah. Based Mike Lee, Elon Musk likes dogs, so did Hitler. Elon posed in front of the Eiffel Tower. Kaya Reichik says, Elon Musk posed in front of the Eiffel Tower. You know who else posed in front of the Eiffel Tower? Coincidence or dog whistle or something much more sinister. Like they're trying to they're trying to make it seem like sig heiling is the same as drinking water, dude. And it's so funny.
Fuck these assholes. Fuck
once again,
them.
These people are simply united on one thing, and that is being pro-Israel. Some of these people are deeply anti-Semitic that are defending Elon Musk. Some of the people that are defending Elon Musk are Orthodox Jews, like Chaya Reichik, or even Ben Shapiro, right? So it's exceptionally alarming that all of these people, though, that are united on their defense of Israel, okay, regardless of their background, regardless of their opinion on anti-Semitism, they have all one at any given moment yelled about like a Jewish pro-Palestinian protester being the most anti-Semitic person, while simultaneously claiming that Elon Musk, who is sig heiling, is actually not an anti-Semite and not a neo-Nazi, because Hitler also posed in front of the Eiffel Tower or drank water or liked dogs. Very cool stuff. Yeah. Liking dogs is the same as sig heiling. Can you say the names of Nazi groups most supported? I would like to read on it. I mean, I agree with the salute is suspect. It's just a weird, it's just weird a guy that's businessman does that. It would mean extreme times for America. Chatter, instead of looking up groups that Elon Musk has supported, let me tell you about a man who was an American car manufacturer who actually redefined, or in some ways invented, modern car manufacturing. A man responsible for quite a bit, as a matter of fact. His name was Henry Ford. And I don't know if you know this or not, but Henry Ford also, not only was he, Henry Ford wasn't just a American innovator. He was also innovative in other ways. Innovative in ways where, you know, he invented new ways of being anti-Semitic through his 800-page pamphlets that he wrote about how all of society's problems were because of Jews, okay? Henry Ford was so insanely anti-Semitic that he also got a Medal of Honor from Adolf Hitler.
Isn't it crazy how right I was? Like I said straight up before the election that with the Democrats, you're going to be getting the same shit that you can expect from an American government always. Generic, like, competent American foreign policy ideologues doing generic American foreign policy ideologue stuff. And then Donald Trump, before he's even in office, not only does he heavily contribute to an actual ceasefire where Biden failed to do anything, but he somehow emboldens TikTok to the point, TikTok, which was banned by Biden based on the idea that it was like a Chinese enemy application, basically because they want global social media to be as controlled by themselves as possible. Trump comes in, and I guess, like, even though Trump hates China, like, the CEO of TikTok probably just invited him to a dinner and told him how much he admires him. And undoubtedly, that is all that it took for Trump to be like, I will save your TikTok, unban TikTok now. And now he's going to unban it. What a crazy turn of events. TikTok was banned for all of like 2 days. And then like the Trump inauguration approaches, and it's just like, well, sorry. He's back. Everyone was telling me like, go to Red Note, which is like a Chinese app that mostly used by Chinese people, which for some reason is also open to the outside world. I tried to go to Red Note and it demanded a phone number. And I didn't want to give the Chinese government my phone number because I heard that the Chinese government is evil 1984 George Orwell. So I paid like a $2 a month subscription to one of those apps to get like a fake phone number that receives SMS, and it didn't work. And then I gave up. But luckily, I'm not going to need to go to the Chinese app because Donald Trump is bringing TikTok back, baby. Though I would have liked to have communicated with the Chinese people and told them all about how evil Israel is. I could have even told them about like Loner Box drama and Destiny drama. I bet they would have loved that. They probably just completely alien to them. Like, I could ruin Chinese society from without by telling them about all these things that will just rot their brains that they don't know about. That Red Note app is also like, it is simply not ready to be used by a non-Chinese speaking audience, okay? It does not have a localization. Half of the screens just are not translated at all, and the ones that are translated are very clearly auto-translated. They were clearly not ready to have foreign users on there at all. Like, when I went to delete the account that I tried to make, all the dialogue was entirely in Chinese, and I had to like go by context to figure out how to do it. But anyway, TikTok is back. Trump's bringing it back. He literally posted on Truth Social, which is apparently a website just for Donald Trump tweets. Like, he made a website just for himself to tweet. He posted on Truth Social saying, save TikTok. Save TikTok. And he got 2.69 nice K retruths. Retruths. Oh, it's so great. Save TikTok. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy that Donald is my president until he doesn't have a genocide. Until then, he's my president. The bar is that low. He's already better than Jimmy Carter. TikTok is back, folks. And don't forget, you can follow me on TikTok, which I never use and probably will never use. I have only one good video on there. It's about Yakub. I was trying to instill the story of Yakub in the children. Let's check out my TikTok. Allow TikTok. No, I do not want TikTok to send me notifications. I have one good
How
video.
white people were created. 6,000.
Can't play it here because the music is copyright. This one was good too. The urge to just rebrand my channel as something Yakub related is so fucking high. And watching this just makes me want to do it more. But don't forget to follow Bad Empanada on TikTok, which I'm simply not going to use ever. But I did have like a 1 or 2 day period where I made a bunch of TikTok videos and none of them went viral. So I just kind of gave up. Am I on Twitter? Any account that you see on Twitter that claims to be me, I endorse. I endorse everything they say 100%. I disavow absolutely nothing. The pure amount of psychic damage that people tweeting random shit under my name can do to others is so beneficial that I 100% openly endorse it all. Oh, I even saw someone was pretending to be me in Minecraft with like a Hamas fighter skin. I was playing Hypixel yesterday. I'm assuming that's like a server, and somehow got in a game with Bad Empanada of all people, and just sort of like uncritically accepting the idea that like someone whose name is Bad Empanada is actually me, but then they have a Hamas skin. So it's like, which is like worse here? Being so pathetic that you pretend to be me in Minecraft. Literally in Minecraft. Like, that's the first time I've ever unironically said the phrase in Minecraft. But then there's also the fact that like he has a fucking Hamas skin. Minecraft is like probably very big on TikTok if I was to guess. So maybe I should commission someone to make Bad Empanada Minecraft TikToks for me. I know nothing about TikTok, obviously, aside from how to make Yakub video. But yeah, it is very funny that Donald Trump is apparently going to unban TikTok. And they are so confident in that they just like, even though the app is still technically illegal in the US right now, they re-enabled it because they are so confident that Trump is going to unban it. pass an executive order unbanning it. Joe Biden is probably he's probably already fucking turning in his grave, knowing that the Chinese app is back and ready to indoctrinate our children once more by showing them just like a raw video of Israeli war crimes, which is specifically why they wanted to ban it in the first place. And all that sucking up to Trump that Zuckerberg and Musk have done to try and get him to favor their platforms is incredible, given that quite literally it seems like a day into returning to the presidency, Donald Trump is just going to unban TikTok immediately. Oh man, Cactus Destiny or as being a Destiny Orbiter. It's on that level of patheticness.
You just watched Elon Musk, the world's richest man, do what appears to be a Hitler salute at the inauguration of our fascist, Hitler-quoting president. And I should add that the guy who just Sig Heiled on stage is going to have office space in the West Wing of the White House, meaning he'll have lots of access and influence over our president, who allegedly kept Hitler's speeches next to his bed, at least according to his ex-wife. Now, to be fair, we don't actually know if he intended to do a salute that looked identical to the salute that the Nazis did in Hitler's Germany. So I think that we should probably try to give him the benefit of the doubt, because we don't want to be that caricature of hysterical lefties that accuse everyone of being a Nazi that we don't like. So I think that we should just calm down and think about this rationally for a moment. I'm sure that it was just a bad angle. So let's look at a different angle. Okay, well, that actually makes it look a lot worse. Fair enough, but I'm sure that, you know, if you compare it to the salute that actual neo-Nazis use, it'll almost certainly show us that it's totally different. So it's identical, you know, hand to the chest, extending the arm, the right arm in particular. Okay. Still, it could be a coincidence. It's not like he made that exact same gesture twice.
My heart goes out to you.
So he did it twice. Sure, I'll admit, it doesn't look good. But we all heard him say that his heart goes out to everyone in the crowd. So there's your explanation. You know, in a moment of passion, he absent-mindedly Sig Heiled. Don't act like you haven't done it yourself. You know, your wife brings home donuts and you get really excited and you accidentally Sig Heil 2 times out of excitement. We've all done it, right? Totally understandable. I'm sure that that's what happened. He just got caught up in the moment and did what looked like a Nazi salute. You know, he gave his heart to the crowd in a very awkward, Hitler-esque way. What matters, though, are his actions. And clearly, Elon Musk hasn't done anything to make us suspect that he's sympathetic towards Nazis. I mean, sure, he did turn one of the largest social media platforms into a haven for Nazis, and under his leadership, he also unbanned neo-Nazis and let verified pro-Nazi accounts flourish on the platform that he bought. But he's letting it happen because he cares about free speech, not because he likes Nazis. I mean, sure, there's also the fact that he censors free speech on Twitter at the behest of fascist leaders around the globe, and it may look like he's deliberately using his platform to fan the flames of fascism, but what matters is what's in his heart. And it's not like he's ever agreed with or parroted actual Nazi talking points himself, right? Oh, wait. He did promote the white supremacist great replacement conspiracy theory here and there, but I mean, he just dabbled in it, big deal. That's basically mainstream GOP orthodoxy these days. If he were an actual Nazi, he would do something much more extreme, like blame Jewish people for immigration, and he's never done that. Okay, yes, I am now remembering the time when someone on Twitter accused Jewish communities of pushing hatred against whites, and they also argued that they didn't feel sorry for Jewish people experiencing anti-Semitism since they supported the, quote, hordes of minorities flooding the country, to which Elon Musk responded saying that he agreed with them and that they said the actual truth. All right, listen. I'll admit that it doesn't look good when you take into account some of his past behavior, but it's not like he's ever explicitly endorsed actual neo-Nazis. Oh my God, I totally forgot about the time that he hosted that chat on Twitter with the leader of Germany's AfD party, which is largely seen as the successor to the Nazi party in Hitler's Germany. You know, Look, let's just watch the clip one more time in order to make a full determination. I think Elon Musk might be a Nazi. Listen, if he went out in public with a Hitler mustache, they'd probably just say that he was doing a Charlie Chaplin. I need you to understand, on a serious note here for a moment, Nazis will never willingly admit that they are Nazis, which is why they often speak in code and use dog whistles to give themselves plausible deniability. And currently, Elon Musk is sharing photos of Democrats doing the same gesture. But when you watch the videos of those Democrats doing that gesture, they're clearly waving. And there's also not the context of them explicitly supporting Nazis. And what you need to know is that if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, and if World War II historians like Ruth Ben Guyot say that that duck is definitely a duck, I think we kind of have our answer there, right? I trust the World War II historian over conservatives like Ben Shapiro on Twitter trying to gaslight us and prove that Elon Musk isn't a Nazi because there are photographs of him with a Jewish person. It's the, hey, I have a Jewish friend argument, so I can't be anti-Semitic, right? Now, one way to really tell how bad this is to gauge how Nazis feel about this, like the actual out and proud Nazis who don't hide it. Spoiler alert, the Nazis very much think that Elon Musk is giving a wink and a nod to them. Tim Dickinson of Rolling Stone reports, Christopher Polis, the leader of the notorious neo-Nazi group Blood Tribe, this is the same group that actually spread the lie about immigrants eating dogs and cats in Springfield, Ohio, posted the clip of Musk's salute on Telegram with a lightning bolt emoji, evocative of the Nazi SS, and the caption, I don't care if this was a mistake, I'm going to enjoy the tears over it. Another neo-Nazi leader, Christopher Hood, who founded the New England Race Separatist Movement, NSC 131, also posted the clip to Telegram with the emojis, exclamation, question mark, and smiley face. Andrew Torba is the founder of the far-right Christian nationalist social media platform Gab, which pioneered AI-powered Nazi chatbots. He shared the clip on his account with the caption, incredible things are happening already, Lamau. Far-right author Keith Woods, whom the Southern Poverty Law Center has called a self-described ethno-nationalist and anti-Semite, shared the clip in a post on X, writing, okay, maybe woke really is dead. Thomas Sewell, an Australia-based neo-Nazi whose Telegram avatar is a picture of himself throwing a Roman salute, posted the video of Musk calling it a Donald Trump white power moment. A chapter of the white nationalist group White Lives Matter posted a note of appreciation on Telegram along with a picture of a banner drop the group had previously executed at a freeway overpass reading, Elon Musk, stop white genocide. The Telegram caption read, thanks for sometimes hearing us, Elon. The white flame will rise again. But there's more, because out and proud neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes also weighed in, and here's his thoughts on the matter.
That was a straight up like Sig Heil, like loving Hitler energy. that was like a straight up with intensity Roman salute.
Yeah. So let's be real. That was unambiguously a Nazi salute. Pretty much everyone with eyes and who knows what that salute looks like is in agreement. Although there is one pretty notable exception who thinks that we're all blowing this out of proportion. The ADL, which stands for the Anti-Defamation League, which wrote on Twitter, this is a delicate moment. It's a new day, and yet so many are on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute. But again, we appreciate that people are on edge. In this moment, all sides should give one another a bit of grace, perhaps even the benefit of the doubt, and take a breath. This is a new beginning. Let's hope for healing and work toward unity in the months and years ahead. And Elon Musk replied to that, thanking them for defending him. Now, put aside why Elon Musk sig-heiled or whether or not he did it on purpose for a moment and ask yourself, would the ADL give this much of the benefit of the doubt to, say, a college student who is opposed to Israel's genocide in Gaza? The answer is an unequivocal no, because the head of the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, has gone on mainstream media repeatedly and denounced anti-Semitism on college campuses. And when I say he's denounced anti-Semitism, what I actually mean is he's denounced anti-Zionism on college campuses, which he conflates with anti-Semitism, which is dangerous because these are two very different things. People who are not Jewish can identify as Zionist. Joe Biden called himself a Zionist, for example, yet he's never experienced anti-Semitic discrimination a day in his life because he's not Jewish, nor does he have that lived experience of being a Jewish person in America. So those terms are often conflated to obfuscate, and that is what Jonathan Greenblatt does. But while the ADL's president characterizes Nazi salutes as an awkward gesture, they'll compare somebody who's just wearing a keffiyeh to a Nazi wearing a swastika. And you might think, Mike, you're being a little bit uncharitable here. That sounds like hyperbole. I promise you it's not. Jonathan Greenblatt actually made that equivalence on national television.
And if you wouldn't tolerate it, if someone's wearing a swastika on their arm, I'm sorry, you shouldn't tolerate it if they're wearing a keffiyeh on their neck.
Yeah. All right.
Calling death to anyone.
All right, CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Jonathan. I think that the world is a much safer place now that they've heard you compare anti-genocide college students to literal Nazis. But there's more, because in a different appearance, he presented another piece of evidence to prove that there's rampant anti-Semitism on college campuses. Students leaving during his speech. I'm not joking.
Brown is an Ivy League school, one of the most prestigious universities in the United States. And I was invited to give a talk to bring the whole community together. And I started my talk, and about halfway through, literally, Joe, Mika, half the audience, without provocation, I didn't say anything sort of hostile, literally stood up and walked out. Now, mind you, they had reserved those seats. They had taken those seats from other students who wanted to hear me. It's a kind of heckler's veto, where they will try to stop my speech and prevent others from hearing. If they had stuck around, of course, they would have heard me say that we're opposed to anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim hate. They would have heard me say we need a two-state solution. They would have heard me deplore the shooting of a Palestinian-American student in Vermont last December. But here's the thing, and it's happened to me at Vanderbilt. It's happened to me at Texas Christian. It's happened to me now at Brown. The level of animus directed against Jewish speakers, the level of hatred directed at people who support the state of Israel is through the roof. I mean, look at these numbers.
So if you don't listen to his full speech, you're anti-Semitic. Real convincing. You know, if you click away from this video and you don't watch the whole thing all the way through, that makes you homophobic. You've been warned. I don't make the rules. Don't blame me. Now, I don't know if you noticed it, but at the end of that clip there, he kind of gave away the game because that graphic was a statistic from the ADL itself, which counts anti-genocide protests and anti-Israel protests as anti-Semitic incidents. So they're muddying the waters here and offering zero charitability for any of those students. Meanwhile, the richest man on the planet literally Sig Heiled at a fascist president's inauguration, and he gets all the charitability in the world from the ADL. They should respond by acting like their hair is on fire, but they're not, because they don't actually care about fighting fascism in America because they're too busy defending fascism in Israel. But the ADL isn't just giving Elon Musk a pass, they're also giving his entire social media platform a pass as well. Here's what Greenblatt said about Twitter last year after Elon Musk agreed with the guy who accused Jewish people of fomenting hatred against white people.
Elon is clearly a complicated guy.
Right. You see what he could have been alluding to now. It's not nearly as, you should never say someone brought something on themselves. I mean, that's like the last thing that...
Look, I think we know Elon, he said it to me more than once, that he's very impulsive. He'll tweet or retweet out things that then he regrets. Like he deleted
richest person in the world should not be impulsive and should not be
yesterday.
Look,
it is hard to make sense of everything that he does, but here's the bottom line.
Crazy?
Twitter being a safer place, X being a safer place for Jewish users is good for everyone.
Yeah.
And by the way, we should point this out. X is not the only problem. We need to be talking about TikTok.
And talk about TikTok he does, but more on that in a moment. But understand that the owner of Twitter, who's become increasingly unhinged and fascistic before our very eyes over the last couple of years, has turned Twitter into a safe haven for Nazis. And the head of the ADL, who's supposed to combat this type of hateful rhetoric, is pretending like it's become some sort of a safe space for Jewish people, when anyone on the platform would tell you that it's so much worse now than it was under Jack Dorsey. But the reason why Greenblatt isn't concerned about Elon Musk is because after he had his little, we'll call it an oopsie moment, he quelled allegations that he's anti-Semitic by cracking down on pro-Palestinian free speech on the platform, which got the ADL off of his back. Now, the fact that he has continued to spread far-right conspiracy theories about immigrants and queer people, it, I guess, hasn't set off any alarms over at the so-called Anti-Defamation League because, you know, so long as he suppresses the spread of anti-Israel content to an extent, that's all that matters to them. But on the subject of TikTok, you know, if you hadn't already guessed, Greenblatt doesn't give them a pass like he gives a pass to Twitter, you know, the place where all the Nazis go now.
But we need to talk about TikTok. TikTok, if you will, it is the 24/7 news channel of so many of our young people, and it's like Al Jazeera on steroids, amplifying and intensifying the anti-Semitism and the
Cringe. That was cringe. It's like Al Jazeera on steroids. Shut the fuck up. Al Jazeera's BBC, dipshit. The fuck is wrong? God, you're such a fucking cringe lord. Fascism's biggest crime is nuclear levels of cringe. Besides all the actual evil murder stuff that they do.
Zion with no repercussion.
That was before the TikTok ban, by the way. But in case you weren't keeping track, TikTok bad because people criticize the government doing a genocide there, but Twitter good, even though its owner is a techno-fascist who brought back Nazis and Sig Heils on stage. It's a ridiculous double standard that reveals so much. We are at a turning point in history. We all have to pick a side. You're either against fascism or you're for fascism. It's a binary choice. There's no fence sitting when it comes to fascism. And Trump's inauguration is forcing a lot of fascist collaborators to show their cards. Speaking of fascist collaborators, 12 Senate Democrats voted with Republicans to deny immigrants due process, including so-called progressives like Raphael Warnock, John Ossoff, and Ruben Gallego. Also, there's former progressive John Fetterman, but by now I don't think any of you are surprised by that. But that's a different story for a different day. My point is that lines are being drawn right now, and people are picking sides, and everybody has to pick a side. And now is the time where the true anti-fascists are going to resist, and the spineless fascist collaborators are going to bend the knee. And people are taking notice of the cowards and collaborators who are lining up to lick the boots of fascists right now, and we won't forget this. For example, in response to the ADL's outrageous attempt to sanitize Elon Musk's Nazi gesture, which is what it was, and pacify outrage about that Nazi gesture, Congresswoman AOC torched the ADL on Twitter, which was really nice to see, writing, "Just to be clear, you are defending a Heil Hitler salute that was performed and repeated for emphasis and clarity. People can officially stop listening to you as any sort of reputable source of information now. You work for them. Thank you for making that crystal clear to all." And that's not an exaggeration, because journalist Kenneth Vogel points out the ADL, which recently hired Ballard Firm, the lobbying shop headed by one of Trump's top fundraisers, Brian Ballard, to develop practices and policies to counter the rise of anti-Semitism in the U.S., appears to be willing to give Trump's team the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, seems like a conflict of interest. Now, Ben the Ark Jewish Action also responded to the ADL, writing, 19-year-old college student says free Palestine, that's anti-Semitic. Elon Musk backs Germany's AfD and anti-Semitic replacement theories, buys Twitter so Nazis load at the top. Sig Heils multiple times, give him the benefit of the doubt. The ADL has one job, but Jonathan Greenblatt can't do it. And for those who don't know, the former president of the ADL publicly disagreed with Greenblatt. Jewish Voice for Peace chimed in with a similar point, saying, when college students protest to end genocide, the ADL calls for militarized police across campuses. When the richest man in the world gives a Nazi salute on national television, they tell everyone to calm down. The ADL may not care about the safety of our communities, but we do. Our movements aren't going anywhere. We keep us safe. And that's a really important point. And the reality is that actual acts of anti-Semitic violence have increased. But people like Jonathan Greenblatt hyper-focus on anti-Israel criticism in lieu of actual anti-Semitism regular Jewish people experience on a day-to-day basis. And that is so dangerous, because if you opportunistically and cynically weaponize allegations of anti-Semitism to silence critics of Israel, you are minimizing real anti-Semitism. And they're doing this at a time when we all should be more vigilant than ever, since an actual fascist is now occupying the White House. But understand, this is confirmation that they never cared about anti-Semitism in the first place, and they only said that they did because it sounded better than them just admitting that they didn't want you to criticize Israel. But that means it's on all of us to actually speak up and expose the frauds who say that they oppose hate while simultaneously aligning themselves with the main propagators of it. And at the beginning of this video, you know, I cited the duck test, you know, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck. But in all honesty, it's not always that simple. Sometimes people and organizations present themselves in a certain way in order to advance an entirely different agenda. It's very insidious, and we have to be able to discern who is and isn't actually acting in good faith, even though sometimes that can be difficult. But what we're seeing here with the ADL is indeed bad faith. They are purporting to be an organization that opposes hate and bigotry, yet they've aligned with fascists in America to run interference for fascists in Israel. But they're one of many examples of liberals and so-called progressives aligning with the far right in service of a particular goal. You know, some do it for self-serving reasons, others, they might do it altruistically. But either way, as the saying goes, if 10 people are sitting at a dinner table with one Nazi, you have 11 Nazis sitting at that dinner table.
Donald Trump did everything he could not to get overshadowed this inauguration. Last inauguration he had to spend all of his energy sort of like backfilling why or sort of retconning the idea that there was nobody at his inauguration because he was embarrassed by it. He likes to have a good audience, and so this time they did it indoors. But then some of the speakers went to, like, what is it, the Capital One thing? Is that where, yeah, where... And how many is that? How many is that seat? Is it 200,000 people?
Oh no, it's the basketball arena. Little under 21,000. Little under 20,000. Little under 21,000. Excuse me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like a Wizards game, like a big comedian, like a draw from like a mid-level comedian.
The Wizards never get it this far.
Okay, so there was 20,000 people there. Interesting. Was there a huge? There must have been throngs of crowds outside of it because there's the people. Elon Musk went over there to give a speech, and he's neurodivergent, and he gets really excited, and he's never had any friends, and he spends his time having to pretend that he's smarter than he is, paying people to play video games for him so he can seem like he's cooler than he is. I know people who were at parties of his, like back in the day, before he, really was as big as he is now, back when he was in the PayPal mafia. And they would basically hire girls to come to the parties, and it was very weird, apparently.
Wow.
So he's awkward, and so here he is just getting a little awkward at the beginning of this speech. This is number 8.
This was a fork in the road of human civilization. Okay. There are elections. Elections, they come and go. Some elections are, important. Some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Hold on, wait, whoa. This is number 8, right? Clip number 8. What was the thank you? What? That's a thank you? Is that the international symbol for thank you? Could you just go back a little bit? That was an interesting thing, because he really, from my heart, outward, Thank you. Is that what he's saying? Go ahead.
It matters. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
Turn it around.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you.
My heart, is that what he says next? My heart goes out to you?
There's a little shiver in his voice when he's saying that.
My heart goes out to you. I see. He really, that's the classic, my heart goes out to you. And then you just thrust your arm out.
Throw it up, throw your heart at a 45-degree angle towards the roaring crowd.
Okay, and then, well, all right. I mean, everybody makes a mistake once. It was obviously not a premeditated thing. He's just getting excited. Apparently, NBC edited out the second one. Is that right? Okay, play these.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out.
Oh, he did it both. He did it to them on both sides. Isn't that awkward? Isn't that awkward? Now, a lot of people are trying to pretend that somehow this is some type of Nazi fascist salute. When Elon is just, he's neurodivergent, okay? And let's compare it. This is from last year. In January, this is the CBC, has a footage of dozens of Italian fascists giving a salute during a far-right rally in Rome. Here it is. Okay, now look. Do you see? None of them are touching their heart and thrusting their arms out. They're just thrusting their arms out. Musk was clearly saying, this is my heart, I send it out to you. Like thrusting it out. And, you know, if that was the case, like, and some people have suggested it could be a Roman thing, too.
Right.
Now, the Roman thing was actually just made up.
In the 1800s by theater people.
By theater people. And then I guess apparently the Nazis adopted that. In the same way that they also came over here and took like the Massachusetts State Police uniforms. They found them to be the most sort of like Nazi-ish, I guess, what they were going for.
They're open to influence.
But let's look at this guy, famed Roman, theatrical. Guy played a lot of Roman performances. Here he is.
I don't speak Italian. What was he saying?
Well, didn't they speak Latin in Rome?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right? Yeah, he's speaking Latin, and he's doing some type of theater production.
Is that Cicero?
And that's why he's doing the thing from his heart and going out, right?
Yeah, give us one more time.
Let's see that one more time.
In the Nazi salute.
Well, he's going out. Does Zeke Heil mean my heart goes out to you?
Thank you so much for doing this. This is a fork in the road.
We're at the crossroads of civilization. My heart goes out to you. I give my heart to you. Everybody. You know, Gilbert Gottfried had a great joke about Kurt Waldheim, who people don't remember, but he was at one point the UN chief, and he was from Vienna, and it came out while he was head of the UN that he may have had a Nazi past, and Gilbert Gottfried had a great joke where he was talking that Kurt Waldheim and his wife were on vacation, just like in the late 30s. And he was in front of, they went to Germany, and he was in front of some fountain, and his wife was about ready to take his picture, and they saw some Nazis come walking through, and Waldheim said, "Wait! Don't take the picture! Don't take the picture! Don't take the picture!" And that's when she snapped the picture, and that was what the problem was.
Yeah.
So, look, there is no doubt in my mind that Elon Musk, remember, you have to remember who this guy is. He pays people to play video games with him, for him, so that he can look like he is a top video game player. He has a team of like writers coming up with something like where he wanted to go on Saturday Night Live and pull out a rubber chicken out of his pants and say, "Do you want to see my C word?" Because he's juvenile and has no friends. And there is no doubt in my mind that this guy definitely came up with this as a troll. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say my heart goes out to you, and I'm going to play it off that way.
And he practiced it.
And he practiced it, without a doubt. And it was like, watch what I'm going to do to whatever friends he pays to be around him. And they're all going to get a huge laugh out of it. But understand, there's not a huge difference between that and a fascist doing it earnestly. These symbols they exist for a reason. They create an in-group and an out-group. And if you're in on a joke like this, you're part of the in-group. And if you're on the out-group, you're on the out-group. It's not a coincidence they do these things. They do these things to create that in-group and out-group. Secret handshakes, I mean, all of this stuff. Sometimes they can be benign, and sometimes they can represent other things. So, and, you know, at the end of the day, the symbolism is one thing. The actions are going to be more important, and we're going to go through the actions that Donald Trump has taken already as president.
Capture the objective.
Remember, destroying things and hurting people is a lot easier than building things and helping people. It just is. So that stuff can move quick. Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take
The establishment has been defeated, and as a result, they're now striking back. And some people say the establishment was very afraid of a certain Mr. Burinelli, a Mr. Stephen Destiny, and yesterday we got our feet wet on this, Griffin. We got our feet wet. We went over the Substack post that kind of illustrated, hey,
we got to put that back up at some point, though, just in case anyone's not familiar.
All right, well, we got to get our ducks in a row. Gavin, where would you like to start?
Yeah, let's start from the beginning. In case Griffin had something else in mind, I feel like probably the best place to go about this is just to throw up this post from a streamer named Pixie, someone who apparently collaborated with Destiny in the past, and she's
very nice, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, you've met her?
Yeah, very nice person.
That's good to know.
Seems pretty genuine from when I've spoken to her and talked to her. So yeah, I feel like this is a real one.
Well, that's good to know. I've never watched any of her content, didn't know about her before this, but she says on November 29th, the streamer Destiny non-consensually shared my nudes, making me a victim of revenge. I will be suing him in federal court. And then she links to a URL that at this point maybe seems to be broken. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that, but when I hit that link, it redirects to sort of a broken link kind of a page. I think that's the link yesterday that we pulled up that led to the Substack, which Zach has now. I'm not sure what's going on with this post exactly, but either way, she goes on to outline this allegation, and you know, it's pretty intense. Do you just want to start going through this?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So Griffin, chime in with whatever you know. It seems like
the gist is that there was a lot of nudes that he was then using. Now this is allegedly, and I'm just reciting what's there because, you know, listen, I cannot get sued. I need to get the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out this year, okay? But she alleges a lot of the nudes were purposefully leaked by Destiny to other people in an attempt to like get more girls, that he was like flirting with other girls by showing that he has nudes. And it's like, what?
Yo, I ain't no chili pimp. Look at this table, y'all. You think I care about you little hoes? You think I care about you little fleas over here? Look at this table I got. Look at all my shit. Look at all my trophies. Look at all my gems. This is disgusting.
James Franco is far more moral in that movie than Destiny. But yeah, I just gotta say, like,
way more style.
Are we in middle school? Like nudes? Like, is Destiny gonna be like 50 years old asking someone what's your major? Like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? Like, if I had to ask some 19-year-old girl like what she was majoring in, I would walk into traffic. I would walk directly into traffic.
This is something we've talked about a lot on Circle Jerks. Who has time to be really into Destiny?
Horny.
Once you're like 22, who the fuck knows who Destiny is? So he's trying to get girls who have recently had their hearts broken by guys who were into Destiny, maybe. I'm not sure where his Venn diagram overlaps here, but clearly he doesn't have any game. He's like a 12-year-old boy when he takes his shirt off. So it's just like he's gonna try and do all the weird, cringy online bro stuff to get pussy, and it's a disaster, and now it's probably criminal. And he's had to come out here and release this giant statement saying, what now? This is from official Destiny people on his subreddit.
Oh, so this is from Destiny or from his mods?
Yeah, yes. No, this is actually, this is one of his mods. So there's another statement. Pull up his statement first. Destiny posted a statement.
Okay, we're gonna go on this one because this is the one I have, and you guys keep fucking me up as soon as I start to try and go into this.
Okay, all right.
All I want is to make a short post that goes on over a few things regarding the sub in my position. I didn't take any time to really format this or clean it up. Hopefully it gets my point across. He then goes on to say a bunch of bullshit about how the sub is normally really cool and doesn't revolve around stuff like this, which is kind of a lie.
I mean, we don't have to read any of this. It's much better to read the Destiny post. But essentially, the gist of this is that, like, it seems like at least a portion of his community is rebelling or, like, actually mad at him or whatever. But, like, I think this is cope. I think that Destiny will come back. Like,
do we have the actual post from Destiny? Because I'd like to see what he says.
So there is no official post from Destiny, was what I was saying on his subreddit. They've locked everybody from being able to make points or posts that aren't approved. And so this is what's come out. And he says Destiny said he's taking a break until at least February 1st, which is what I was trying to get to. And I'm going to leave him be until then. I truly plan on trying to allow this community to continue in whatever way it can, because a lot of people here feel like they have nowhere else to go, myself included. Basically, what they're saying is they know that Destiny did this, but they don't know how to do PR for him yet. And that was the main crux of this long diatribe for him.
Chick says
going away.
This Papu Chick says, yo, Griffin, you're a guest. You're not a producer on this show. Yo, Papu Chick, you're a chatter, okay? And you're not even a guest. And unfortunately for you and myself, I am a producer on this segment of the show. Like, it's all L's there, buddy. Okay, let's go back.
I was about to say, in Griffin's defense, he is literally a producer on Circle.
Unfortunately.
So, you know, he has the right to cut off Zach, to bully Zach on air.
Man, now I'm taking it from all sides. We've, again, long documented Gavin's verbal and physical abuse. I have to wear headphones when he doesn't to cover up my cauliflower ears because I haven't drained them in a few days. Now I've got Griffin busting my hump.
Oh wait, no, he's a member. He's a paid member. I'm sorry, Papu Chick. Actually, Papu Chick, I see you. I see you.
Yeah.
Hey, Papu Chick, my heart goes out to you, just like Elon.
But is Papu Chick a shareholder? No. So
that's right.
Either way,
well, we're value-taining him. So, anyways, the Destiny stuff. So yeah. I'll get the statement, but ultimately, like, I guess the question was, are his fans going to get mad at him for this, right? Like, you know, regardless of how it sorts out in court. Like,
will he face consequences? Yeah.
And what are consequences? I mean, like legal or whatever, but I ultimately, like, the career, right? Like, what's going to happen to the career? And I love this, starting with legal arc beginning in mysterious ways.
Legal arc.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be clear. The leak happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. I never had an intention for any of these images to be published. I haven't spoken about it publicly regarding the situation for a few reasons. I'm actively pursuing criminal and civil litigation on these matters against multiple parties. Speaking publicly about these materials brings more attention to them, which harms all the victims involved. I've been trying to move on from covering drama content. LOL, as it has had increasingly negative impact on those in my life.
Can we pause on that one?
Yeah.
So that's always the great excuse when people get canceled. They're like, "Hey, we're not. It's just too much drama content is the problem." So watch out, guys. It could.
The
happen
Vanguard's
to you
never had a
too.
problem with it.
Yeah, and it seems like to me there's already quite a few examples that are on record or on air of Destiny kind of admitting to this behavior. I was watching President Sunday's video on this, and he shows numerous examples of Destiny basically outright admitting to this behavior, specifically as it related to his ex-wife, whose name was like Melania or something like that. I think he explicitly said on air that she actually expressed her issue. Oh, we can hear that. Sorry. Either way, his ex-wife, came to him and said, "Hey, I don't appreciate you sharing our sex tapes with people without my consent." And Destiny was like, "Well, I didn't realize that was an issue until she told me, and then I realized that it might be an issue after she told me." But that was already after he had admitted to unconsensually sharing their sex tapes. And apparently this is something he did quite frequently. Like, he would film his sexual interactions with people and then hold it over their head, basically as blackmail in a way to get them to shut up when they threaten to go public with allegations of abuse and toxic behavior, predatory behavior. He would then say, "Well, do you want these images out there? Do you want these videos out there?" And it seems like time and time again he delivered on those threats, actually leaking this information. It's potentially where the Nick Fuentes stuff came from, in addition to the Lauren Southern stuff also. So it's pretty wild, and some people have even compared the behavior to like Diddy, where he's like blackmailing lots and lots of people. I mean, it's pretty crazy, bro. It seems like he has a whole network or ring of victims here.
How is he making Diddy look classy? This just seems even more lowbrow in terms of, or childish in some way. Yeah, I don't know. Not great. I mean, can we just go back to like traditional stuff, like killing small animals like other serial killers do? Like, I don't know what this whole collection of photos stuff is. It's like it's very bizarre to me. What do you have in transition?
I was just going to say, we also have this from Pixie. She says, since posting the original message, she's received countless messages of women informing me that they have received pornographic content from Destiny, content they now believe wasn't made or sent with consent. If you've been sent this content or might be a victim, DM me. We're stronger together. So yeah, it seems like, going back to Destiny's community and their backlash or any sort of consequences Destiny might face career-wise, I think it kind of depends on if this does keep snowballing, right? If a bunch of
Dr. Disrespect got fully red hen caught, and he went back to doing still decent numbers online. He's like the butt of a lot of jokes, but like
Dr. Disrespect is mostly just video game shit, though, right?
Yeah, he streams games. He's a streamer.
I think the only difference is, in my opinion, maybe you feel differently, but Destiny does talk about politics, and he kind of focuses.
He's taught all the Red Pill guys for a long time about respecting women. So yeah.
Well, people can point to hypocrisies, and when your whole job is like telling Trump supporters they're immoral and the things they support is immoral, and talking about how MAGA is not democratic and how Trump is a rapist, like it kind of just it reduces your credibility. And it reduces your moral high ground when you have this massive, damning scandal. So I feel like being a left-wing or liberal political streamer does make it worse for him versus just like, Mr. Beast or like fucking Dr. Disrespect or like one of these people that's not really focused on politics. But who knows? I mean, Vosh totally survived his scandal.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think part of what Destiny has going for him, to put it really crudely, is the fact that his audience is extremely anti-women kind of in a weird way. Like, they're all just like kind of freak online little bastards, and
they're post-political. They're like angry nerds. Like they care less about a political position, more about just like their king being awesome and their best version of themselves.
There are a lot of like liberal incels in his community, though. I think Zach's right about that.
Yeah.
For sure. And I just think that they don't have anyone else that they think represents them. And for the same reason that Bosch was able to survive his lolly incident and the horse porn incident and the short stack goblin Goblin incident and all those weird things is because there are a lot of weird guys out there that don't have a community and they feel like, oh, these guys will understand me. They also have this weird fetish. They also have this weird, compulsion to look at lolly porn and whatever the fuck else. You know what I mean? I think with a guy like Destiny, his audience is just gonna be like, yeah, fuck those hoes. Like, oh, these no takesies, backsies, like all kinds of like really regressive, barbaric, I'm angry and online kind of takes. And I think it'll insulate him. Plus, I don't think that he's gonna likely face any real criminal consequences for this, so he'll just keep going.
Do we have an example of a streamer who like lost their career or whatever for like getting canceled? Because I feel like they all come back to like the same numbers.
I'm trying to think.
Like, I can't think of one. And like, I've met the Steven at an event or two and met the Orbiters, and it seems like all of the Orbiters around Steven, like all like it's very groupie. There's like a harem vibe almost to it. Like and like, as long as it's all consensual, that's fine. But yeah, there always seemed to be something strange and weird about it, because not only are people like when you were like a groupie for a rock and roll band, you just wanted to like fuck the band. You didn't think like you would all of a sudden be in the band. Or maybe they did, I don't know. But like it's like the double like career thing where like the streamers are like trying to get their own streaming careers like off the base, and also like hooking up with him. And it's just like
I do feel like Destiny though is like trying to kind of make this pivot into more mainstream liberal content. Like a lot of his videos these days are they have higher production value. He's shooting in a room with some like serious person. He's doing all these interviews with people that are running for the head of the DNC, right? Like he's trying to be a more serious media personality, at least from my estimation, instead of just a sweaty streamer in a dark room, going live for 12 hours at a time. I feel like he is kind of trying to transition into a more like professional sort of a vibe. I do think this would be an issue, specifically if the allegations keep snowballing, if more people come forward. And also, he lives in Florida. It's illegal in the state of Florida to unconsensually share pornographic photos or videos of someone else who didn't, give you their permission. So it's not impossible to think that this could become a genuine legal issue for the guy. I have no idea to what extent there's actual evidence that he was behind the leaks. I imagine he went to some extent to make sure that there wouldn't be a way to trace him back to that. But like I said, he's basically already admitted to this stuff on air. I have a clip if you want to check it out.
I would love to check it out. My last thought before we go to that clip is just like, I think this is good for Destiny because he had nothing to say about the fallout from the election or any politics, and has had no good takes about anything going on since the election. So he needed a new arc. Maybe being in jail will be a great arc for him. Maybe he gets electrotherapy or lobotomized. Like there could be a lot of great new arcs for him, because clearly his interest isn't talking or analyzing any of the politics that have been happening in the last 2 months.
Yeah, the only pushback I would have for him to ever going to jail is it's hard for me to ever anticipate somebody facing legal consequences for something like this after what Russell Brand did and basically confessed to, and even with a rape kit, nothing ever really held him back. I do agree with Gavin's point, though, this will be an impediment for him, without a doubt, going towards that more mainstream liberal audience. But I do think that he'll always have that, 5,000 to 10,000 live viewers on YouTube when he decides to go live.
Oh, yeah. I mean, O.J. Simpson could have gone live before he died and had, 10,000, 12,000 viewers. Like, even the most canceled person ever can
Nothing
still
pisses
get
me off
attention.
more than some
That's
dipshit who
definitely
sits
true.
on the fucking
But,
goddamn
a
spawn
sustainable
and get by
career,
them.
a respectable
And they
profession,
get you
that's
killed.
another story.
I mean, you're a YouTuber. No one's going to respect you. Even like Mr. Beast is like the top of the game, and he's like, there's something hollow within him. So yeah, at the end of the day, we are YouTubers.
True. I'm not saying this is going to totally end the guy's career, to be clear. I do think, though, that these are serious crimes we're talking about. Like, this is an actual a network of sex crimes and abuse that is seemingly being uncovered. Let's take a look here. This is one of those examples, and I actually do recommend you guys check out the full video that President Sunday did. I've enjoyed some of his content before. I don't watch him very much, but I thought he did a pretty good job addressing the nature of these crimes and just how intense it actually is, and the extent of the cover-up. Also, a lot of these Destiny orbiters that you mentioned, Griffin, have basically known about this for weeks, if not months, and have stayed silent. And only now is it really, becoming publicly known of. Even I didn't really realize this was going on. But yeah, let's take a look. This is him talking about his ex-wife.
She isn't going to leak or talk shit. Melina will not leak or talk shit about any of this because she knows that everything about this makes her look like a fucking satanic demon. She knows that. She's threatened it a million times. Like, I'm going to start leaking everything. Oh, yeah, let's go. Okay, if you really want to, because my reputation is already zero in regards to our relationship. Everybody thinks I'm a horrible piece of shit. If you want to start leaking shit, we can do it.
Fast forward to November 2024. Due to the solo leaks, it has come to light that Destiny has been sharing intimate private messages, nude images, and pornographic videos with a 19-year-old OnlyFans creator called Rose, who he was sexually interested in at the time. Rose leaked these to a Discord and Kiwi Farms user called Solo Leaks, who may, for all we know, be Rose herself, who then published them to Discord and to Kiwi Farms. These leaks included intimate romantic and sexual DMs between Destiny and Lord Southern, who Destiny had long denied being romantically involved with while she became increasingly present in his public personal life and on stream, despite being publicly at odds with each other politically on the surface. Destiny even once described her activism as involving, quote-unquote, drowning refugees. These DMs revealed that, in fact, Destiny and Lord Southern had been mutually declaring their love and admiration for each other, including expressing intentions to separate from their respective partners to marry each other. All of this was happening behind the scenes, despite Destiny publicly claiming to his audience that he and Lauren were not involved, and while he was publicly accusing his wife Melina of lying and of being controlling privately when she would express displeasure about the relationship and when she requested that Destiny stop associating with Southern. In addition to these leaks.
Yeah, this is very Harvey Weinstein coded, right? I feel like we're somewhere in between Harvey Weinstein and P. Diddy, because I think the point that Griffin was bringing up earlier, the fact that
but let's be honest, P. Diddy's way worse. P. Diddy's, like I was joking earlier, P. Diddy's way bigger and worse than this.
If you forgot we're recording on Circle Jerk America, not CNN. I'm sorry, brother. Yeah, you're right. Don't take us too seriously, everyone.
I'm holding you accountable.
There's making is the fact that oh yeah, Destiny sues me. That's going to be fucking great for my career. The reality is, though, is that, yeah, he was trying to negotiate proximity to his platform for sex, and that's basic casting couch shit. And then he filmed it so that he could leak it, so that he could continue.
And blackmailed him.
Yeah. Continue his perverse incentives.
100%. Here's the one I was actually trying to play earlier.
In accordance with a previous agreement that he wouldn't.
Me and Melina had a conversation about, there were a few girls we talked to. It was like, oh, cool, like we should record videos of like us fucking shit and send it to people. Like it's fun. I kind of like have like my little archive of like Coomer material that I'll send to people if I want to. There were girls that I talked to past that I'd sent stuff of like either me or me and Melina. And Melina talked to me and she was like, hey, if you're gonna send any videos to new girls that we haven't talked about, like let me know that first.
Griffin, you live in Brooklyn. You probably deal with this kind of thing all the time. You know, all your polycules and your, fetish circles and your group texts.
Before I send a nude, I do have to check in with all 5 of my moms.
That's the other thing about this, like abuse aside, problematic behavior aside, I just don't understand, like, on a basic flirting level, like you're getting to know someone. Oh, I know what'll interest them. Here's a video of me fucking somebody else. Like, it's just a weird way to go about getting to know people, even prospective partners, like sexual partners. Like, oh yeah, check it out. Here's me in action. From last week, like check it out, bro. Like what the fuck?
I do like sending nudes to an OnlyFans girl. That's like giving presents back to Santa. It's like he's got them. He doesn't need any.
Show me an all-star that doesn't watch film, Griffin.
But no, I'm okay with consensual nude exchanges. I'm okay with all sorts of freaky stuff. I'm not okay with someone over 30 having a Coomer materials folder. That's where I draw the line. You shouldn't say that. Like just like Bausch, why are we saving porn anywhere? Porn should be it's like a river. You let you stand in the river and it flows by you and it goes down the river.
It's like a David Lynch film. You don't need to understand it. It just needs to wash over you and give you pleasure. And you let it go.
Yeah, and you let it go, and you're like, damn, I really wish I wish I had a physical copy. But yeah, you can't do that with porn. We mentioned orbiters. My contribution that I wanted to lull a little bit about was it's very clear that one fucking dipshit asshole that's been on the scene for a while.
Lonerbox
is also out because apparently Destiny like hooked up with his girlfriend or whatever, allegedly, and so now Lonerbox is supporting this outing. He's retweeted the Pixie thing, and he's also taking a break from the DGG, or as they call themselves, the Dalaban community.
Yeah, will you scroll down so people can see it?
I literally can't. It's a screenshot. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. He's retweeting the thing.
Because so now that Destiny fucked his girlfriend, he's like, Destiny's a bad person.
that's where I draw the line. And it's like, dude, it's like you modeled everything of your physical appearance, your stream, your perspective. Like, you wanted to fuck Destiny too. That girl just beat you to it. And I'm sorry, like, I don't have any sympathy for you, man. You've been like, the one thing you've been doing is being like, Israel is actually a little more complicated for like the last year and a half, and just like trying to scrunch your hair up to look fucked up like Steven. Like,
oh,
I'm
no,
sorry,
you
it's
forgot.
pathetic.
You forgot. You know, he's been leaking information that Ethan Klein is going to use in his massive dossier on Hassan Tiger, the terrorism lover.
So he's doing video. So he's doing praxis. He's doing video diary praxis. But I did see some like clips of him being like, Hassan Piker's being so mean to me, and like it's just like, okay, bye bye. Maybe this whole crop needs to go.
Yeah, I mean, amen. I totally agree. This whole crop does need to fucking go. They were some of the worst elements of the sort of like democratic propaganda arm that manufactured consent for all the worst aspects of Kamala's strategy. They were all protecting Joe Biden like up until a day or two before his ass finally had to step aside. They defended Israel through all of the genocide and all of the savage horrors that we've witnessed. They've come up with excuse after excuse for all of the neoliberal shit. They went hard in the paint for fucking the funding of Ukraine. They made that like their whole personality for an entire year. It's the most worthless faction of the online left, in my opinion.
Look out the door if you hear an ambulance. The Vanguard will be there, sir. The Vanguard will be there, sir. You've fallen behind.
Nice. We're pulling ahead. MTC's in the red.
I was at the
It's
Trump
now or never.
inauguration yesterday, and needless to say, I disagree with much of what he had to say. But what really struck me, however, is not what he said, which was not surprising given his rhetoric, but what he didn't say, The simple truth is that Donald Trump gave a major speech, the first speech of his second presidency, and ignored virtually every important issue facing the working families of this country. How crazy is that? Our healthcare system is broken, is dysfunctional, and it's wildly expensive. Not one word from Trump about how he is going to address the healthcare crisis. We pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs, sometimes 10 times more than the people in other countries. And 1 out of 4 Americans are unable to afford the prescriptions that their doctors prescribe. Not one word in his speech on the high cost of prescription drugs. We have 800,000 Americans who are homeless, and millions of people spending 50 or 60% of their limited income on housing. We have a major housing crisis in America. Everybody knows it. And Trump, in his inaugural address, did not devote one word to it. Today in America, we have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had. The wealthiest 3 people in America now own more wealth than the bottom half of our society. But Trump had nothing to say, not one word, about the growing gap between the very rich and everybody else. And maybe, just maybe, that's because he had those 3 people, the 3 wealthiest people in our country, sitting right behind them at his inauguration. And I should add that those three people, if you can believe it, and this really is unbelievable, saw their wealth increase by more than $233 billion since the November elections. How's that? $233 billion increase in wealth for the three wealthiest people. No wonder they were sitting right behind Donald Trump at his inauguration. They couldn't be happier. During his inaugural speech, Trump did not have one word to say about how we're going to address the planetary crisis of climate change. The last 10 years have been the warmest years ever recorded, and extreme weather disturbances and natural disasters are taking place all over the world, from Los Angeles to India, across Europe to North Carolina. Not one word from Trump about climate change, except, of course, to make it clear that he intends to make this horrific situation even worse with drill, baby, drill. Just brilliant. In the coming months and years, our job is not just to respond to every absurd statement that Donald Trump makes. Our job is to stay focused on the issues that are of importance to the working families of our country, and in fact are widely supported by the American people. Let me just mention a few of them. Yes, healthcare is a human right, and we must join every other major country in guaranteeing healthcare to all people through a Medicare for All single-payer program. Healthcare is a human right. Yes, we must take on the greed of Big Pharma and substantially lower the cost of prescription drugs in this country. Yes, we must build millions of units of affordable housing and low-income housing. Yes, we must make sure that all of our young people have the ability to get a higher education by making public colleges and universities tuition-free. Yes, we must work with the global community to combat climate change by cutting carbon emissions and transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel and into sustainable energy. Yes, we must pass legislation to raise the absurdly low federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour to a living wage of $17 an hour. Anybody who works 40 hours a week in this country should not be living in poverty. Yes, we must pass the PRO Act and make it easier for workers to join trade unions and grow the trade union movement in America. Yes, in order to help fund the needs of working families in this country, we must demand that the wealthiest people in this country, including those individuals sitting right beside Donald Trump at his inaugural, start paying their fair share of taxes. Yes, we must end a corrupt campaign finance system which allows a handful of billionaires to buy elections and move us rapidly into an oligarchic form of society. Bottom line, as we enter the new Trump presidency, we have got to remain focused. We cannot panic. No matter how many executive orders he signs, and no matter how many absurd statements he makes, our goal remains the same. We have got to educate, we have got to organize, we've got to put pressure on Congress to do the right things. And by the way, with Republicans only holding a 3 or 4 seat advantage in the House, we can stop them time and time again if we are organized. Finally, my friends, we have got to fight to create an America based on economic, social, racial, and environmental justice. That's what we've got to work on. Let's go forward. Let's do it. Thank you.
if Brian moves, what happens to the podcast?
Well, we've always figured it out. We'll figure it out. He has to do what's best.
Bust case. Remember, everyone is saying he's a human. I just bust my case. Girl you start with is the most important girl.
If you're new at this channel, I'm a care model. I have lived with Andrew for years and years.
The highest court in Romania, the appeal court, has just ruled that the evidence collected against me is illegal.
What is the situation with Tate's? Tate claimed recently that he's...
Oh my God, there's so much new shit there, bro.
This was from a recent interview I did with Willie Mack's show, a fellow commentator who has made some of the best videos documenting Tate's crimes, claims, and court case as a whole. And so in this conversation, he's basically bringing me up to speed on the recent developments in Andrew Tate's case. Since it was an interview, we couldn't get too in-depth, but thankfully, I recorded a segment after the interview going into the nitty-gritty of the exact court details. And yes, spoiler alert, Andrew Tate's court case is not thrown out. But seeing all of the conservative commentators run and jump and get on their knees to defend him is definitely worth watching, in my opinion. So, hopefully you enjoy.
One, he's lying when he says shit's being thrown out. It's like one sentence being thrown out.
I see.
It's like loose testimonies from like two girls they thought weren't going to be there, and that does not matter. Their case, I will be blown away if their case gets entirely dismissed, because it's like not true at all from anything I've been seeing. All he's done, they talk as if their case is ongoing. Their trial hasn't even started. All they've done is delay and delay and delay, and all they're trying to do is like point out like they're constantly like pointing for paperwork to be redone.
Yeah.
All right. It's just constant delaying. I think what they are ultimately going to try and do is they are going to try and flee the country to Dubai.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Andrew
they're waiting
Tate
for an
is
opportunity.
Friends with the prince down in Dubai. And he is going to wait for the opportunity to get down there. And Dubai is supposed to send him back if he does, but it's Dubai. They might not. If he's friends with the prince, they might not do that.
That would
he's already flown like two of the people that were supposed to be witnesses down there, and they're down there for they can't go testify. They can't go talk.
Oh, the witnesses on his side, you mean?
No, not on they're supposed to be a part of the case. They're supposed to be like two of the victims, and he's flown them to Dubai.
Understood. Okay.
And he did that while he was in jail, so they have him on record doing it. And he did it, and they're there. And but the thing is, even though that's like a stupid thing for him to do it in jail, it makes sense because he'd rather get him out of there and get in trouble for tampering, like witness tampering, than he would what they actually have to say, you know?
Okay. So sorry, you actually think that that's feasible, that the basically the Dubai government will conspire with Tate?
I think the prince, if he is truly friends with the prince, if that is actually true, then yeah, I think if he goes down there, they will ignore flying him back.
Understood, man. Jesus Christ. It's weird because I saw him announce this too. Like, are him and Tristan not being tried separately, or is it the case?
No, it's one case. It's them. Okay. It's him, Tristan. Well, dude, there's 3 cases now, right? There's one in Romania, and then if you go and rewatch my videos, he claims, and this was a complete lie at the time, he goes, well, one of the trials was already dropped. The trial was not it was not dropped, right? It had to do with the underage minor stuff, right? That trial was not dropped. All that was, like, if you translate it, it says that it was dropped, but what that word doesn't have a direct translation. All it means is Romania is that that's going to be split off into a second investigation, and that will be a second trial later down the road.
I see.
So now he's been hit with that second trial. It's finally come around a year later.
Yeah.
And then he's been hit for the UK stuff. So the UK stuff, that's all up in the air. I have no clue how legit any of that is. There's very little public-facing evidence with any of that.
Understood.
And a lot of that stuff's like really old. Like, it's having to do with like stuff from like 2012.
Yeah.
The Romanian stuff is all the public facing stuff having to do with their webcam studios, laundering money through their casinos, essentially. Not paying the girls, like tax evasion stuff, the underage girls. Like he's been caught like selling.
These are all things that like I've seen clips of him basically bragging about, right?
Yeah.
When you say I'm assuming you're alluding to Vivian, and is it 100% confirmed that Vivian was like 15 while she was working on his
campsite. So Vivian, I said was 15 in my video because when you do the math and he talks in those clips, it comes down to 15.
No, yeah, I used the same clip.
The Romanian government,
They claim it's 14, right?
No. I don't think they.
Sorry.
DICOT has gone ahead and has tracked or has ordered her birth certificate, like proof of her age, from the Czech Republic's government.
Wow.
Right?
Holy
And then they went ahead and they asked the My Webcam site, or whatever the webcam site was. I think it was called like My Cams or some shit like that. When the account was created, and they got that, and it comes down to her being underage. So it's legally that he was putting out onto the internet. So, and this is confirmed with government papers of when this was done.
Do we have an age? Do we know the age?
I forget if they said what they have for the Mime Cam site was 16 for when his account was created.
And that would make...
again, that doesn't go back to like this. We don't have necessarily everything, but at least in one case, it's confirmed that she was under 18 at least.
Right. And that would kind of be congruent with the idea that he basically said that he was dating her even.
Well, no, and he was dating her and having her be like his bottom for years earlier.
Honor that woman. Why? Why? With what? With what?
You have.
No, because you're a jerk. Show me the.
Right.
You cannot have photos of that person.
Yeah, exactly. It's that exact scenario. And I remember, so the age of consent in Romania, I believe, is 15. But is it known where he met her? Like, where was that in the UK that he initially?
He met her in the UK. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. UK age of consent. For those who don't know, basically, we're talking about as Tate has proclaimed himself. Okay, this is not us just projecting this onto him. His bottom. He put it himself to, in his courses where he was basically bragging effectively about how successful he was at pimping women. Brags effectively that he had a bottom by the name of Vivian, who was the woman that would basically talk to other women and basically make them comfortable with associating with Tate so that he could effectively lure them into his cam studio business. And so it seems through things that Tate has said himself that Tate has dated her since at least the age of 15. And Willie's basically confirming to me that DICOT is finding hard proof that she was actually working under the fucking cam studio for Tate.
If they went and confirmed with the government of like Czech Republic or wherever the she's from, Slovakia, I don't know which one. I don't remember which one. I'd have to grab the papers again. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, to me, he is so on this. I don't see how he ever gets out of it. If he legit goes to jail, he's gonna write it off as like, I was put in here because of my, like, you could see because he's already writing tweets like this.
Right.
I was put in here for my position on Palestine. It's because the want to put me in jail.
Well, yeah.
Or he's gonna flee and say the trial was never going to be fair anyway.
Well, that's exactly because you've identified this pretty well, and probably the best that I've seen, honestly, the way that they actually embrace misinformation, right? Like obviously they literally had the logs while he was in prison, right? Where he was basically trying to get people to spread misinformation and shit. But they to such a successful degree, they manipulate basically algorithms, whatever you want to say, but they basically successfly, through mimetic transfer of knowledge, have basically painted themselves as complete martyrs in so many ways. Like so many, even dude, honestly, so many young guys that I know just like think that basically it is just the Matrix. Like he was too loud about too many hot button issues, and like look.
Stupid because it's like, does Sneeko or Myron, they don't get arrested. Like there's no they're in the United States too. They're in the Western world. It's not like they've been prosecuted in any way. So it's some dumb.
The way that I put it is like, okay, on paper, yeah, it's possible, because here's the thing that needs to be understood. Like Tate raised his GTA stars. He raised his wanted level super high when he popped off, obviously, right? But when he was creating the courses on how to pick out women, when he was in the underbellies of the red pill, basically bragging with other weirdos about how they were 17-year-olds or whatever, when they were in that underbelly, like they were not careful at all. Like they were literally like proud about how corrupt and whatever they were, right?
Do you know how he got caught?
Caught in what context?
What tipped this all off where he started to get pursued?
Well, I imagine that it was him. I was going to lead to basically saying that he would openly brag about how he went to Romania to flee the UK because in Romania he can basically pay the police off. It's basically more
no. So this is going to be why he gets thrown in jail. Like, this is going to be the evidence used against him. But why he got caught was, or what led to him getting investigated, is entirely down to one of the women he trafficked was an American girl. And
the boyfriend.
No boyfriend.
Oh, my bad.
It was an American girl. And now this girl's crazy. This is also the same one that he tried to sue on behalf of 5 pedophiles. But this girl was over there and she's like, yo, we have to go ahead and like the only way we have to like trick them into being in love with us. And what happened is her parents called the US embassy and he got raided. Do you remember his house got raided and he got thrown in jail for like a day?
Yeah.
And then he called it all like, oh, I just got swatted.
Yeah.
No, that was what kicked off the investigation. The Americans embassy called in. They were like, yo, what the fuck's going on? Do we have an American girl over here being trafficked? Romania kicked in his door, looked around, and then that started a whole investigation on him. So it essentially came down to that, where if he didn't traffic that American girl and the U.S. embassy doesn't lean on DICOT and the Romanian government there, he probably is fine.
Understood. Okay,
it is the Matrix in a way. Like, if he doesn't pick that girl whose parents did that thing, maybe he'd still be going, you know?
Yeah. I remembered a story where I thought it was like a boyfriend or something was like concerned for a girl or whatever, and she called the FBI. No, okay. So
no, it was the parents.
The way that I assumed, like, if you were to take the angle of like, you know, the Matrix is attacking him or whatever, all I can really imagine is basically like the guy was making you know, he was going on podcasts and making courses, basically bragging about the fact that Romania is corrupt and he can get away with whatever the he wants. Obviously, that would create some incentive for him to get cracked down on, right? Like, if you're gonna exploit the system, you can't be too bold-faced and fucking obvious about it. What you're saying makes perfect sense, that basically it's not just a matter of GTA wanted stars. He literally up and effectively.
Well, and then if you're Romania, and like we could say what we want, guys. If you go to a different country for like a student abroad trip or anything like that, they will like have a talk with you where it's like they're like, hey, if something goes down, a terrorist attack or whatever, it's like we will come get you. The fucking American embassy will come get you. So it's like if you get the United States involved in any way where the embassy's calling up in some of these smaller countries, they're gonna crack down on whatever is being leaned on there.
That's 100%.
The United States is just a big deal.
That's 100% facts, and I can attest personally because when I was in Hong Kong, I had friends who were studying, and the second that the universities got taken over by protesters, literally, dude, my American friends got fucking evaporated. And what I mean by that is, no joke, for whatever reason, obviously what Willie's saying is the reason, but literally these guys got calls from their fucking their universities that if they do not come back to the United States right now, they're gonna basically be kicked out of school, and they got arranged like flights literally the same day, like immediately. Whereas people like me, who is from Canada, my friends from Germany and Netherlands, they were not at all, the country was not at all as like on the ball in terms of like evacuating their students or whatever. It's literally
it's kind of bullshit in some ways, but it's also, I mean, dude, that's like the power of the United States with the fear of influence and all that shit, you know?
Yeah, well, like, it makes sense, obviously, because it's like an American hostage is leverage. They don't want to allow for a situation where one of their civilians is basically held hostage or whatever, so they're basically like doing whatever they can to force them to leave, because a lot of people wanted to stay. Like, a lot of my American friends were like, dude, this isn't as dangerous as they think it is. Like, it's not that bad.
It is until the United States catches a spy and China goes ahead and calls you a spy and throws you in camp to try and negotiate.
No, yeah, well, exactly. Well, that's exactly like what they do not want, exactly. But yeah, they do not around. It was basically, it's funny because when these protests really, again, they took over the universities, it was two camps, okay? There's mainland Chinese students who I was friends with, and there was Americans who I was friends with, and both of them just evaporated, like gone, like instantly. Americans and mainland Chinese, they got, literally the Chinese got taken in submarines to go back to the mainland, and yeah, the Americans were like,
that's fucking crazy, dude.
It's not,
how cool is that, actually? That's pretty lit.
It's fascinating because, dude, meanwhile, no joke, I was receiving an email from my university asking me like, what's going on? We like see news headlines, and I'm literally like texting them like, yeah, everything's fine, that's all just happening like way far away from us. Like, I'm basically just lying to them because I'm worried that I'm I'm also gonna get forced to evacuate. And they just never like forced me to evacuate. I basically was able to stay. So yeah.
What was your what do you still know about it? It's all calmed down obviously, but like is everything chill now? Is everything all good?
So not really. So like in Hong Kong, it's a bit tragic.
Did you see that guy that always talked in China that lived there? He had to like full on flee.
Wait, which guy?
His name's like Liu Wao or some shit like that. He just always talks like mad shit.
I actually don't know. Let me just see.
No, you have to know who he is.
If I saw his face, I probably would, but let me see. What was the name? Sorry, Liu Wao?
Liu Wao. I don't remember his name.
Damn, I probably would recognize his face. But yes, there was like a lot of chaos, to say the least, I guess. But the through line was effectively like the protests happened and it absolutely reached an insane fever pitch while I was there. And then with the COVID lockdowns,
this is him.
Yeah, suddenly there was basically Lao Wai. Yeah. I know this guy.
I kind of remember his name.
Yeah. Lao Wai got.
He just talks mad all the time. I feel like half of what he said is not very credible.
No. Him and his friend there, they are basically like. Here's the thing, right? Like they're not wrong about everything they say, but they literally. I don't want to say the word grifter, but their income is shitting on China at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you were to watch their videos, there's times where like they're saying and they're backing up with like unique stories and experiences, and that's kind of fun. And then there's times where it's just like
like ideological.
It's just like it just sounds like he's making up, bro. Like he has nothing. He's not citing anything. There's fucking nothing going on.
Yeah, his friend has a cool. Like that's the thing. Like they did live in China. They do have cool stories. But like yes, when they're actually like acting as reporters, it's not good. Like in my opinion. But the friend has a cool story where like he was a bodyguard for a guy who was a multi-billionaire in China who ended up being a scammer. And apparently, unfortunately, he was like basically sexually assaulting like the women that he was working with, and so it was interesting to like hear because he literally has pictures like as the bodyguard or whatever this guy, which is kind of interesting, I guess. It all began with Andrew Tate making a big bold claim. He made a video saying that the case was dismissed. All right. They also uploaded the Tate brothers, them dancing. Okay. To we're gonna forgive him. Them further celebrating. Boom.
Case dismissed. Even better than a not guilty verdict, a judge has decided there's not enough evidence to even send this to trial. There's no evidence of crime. None of this makes sense. They print an indictment with thousands of pieces of paper, which doesn't mean anything. It doesn't add up to a crime. They falsified evidence. The whole thing is garbage. The case is now officially dismissed.
So there's Tate bluntly claiming that, and then it is accompanied by 6 minutes of him lying and then having to admit certain realities. Tristan Tate himself has also created a statement saying, vindication. It has now been decided definitively and finally that there will be no trial in my case, which has dragged on for 2.5 years of my life. Not guilty would have been nice to hear, to see the looks on the prosecutor's faces, but I will never hear those words. What today's decision means is there isn't enough evidence to even have a trial. The prosecution have failed utterly to produce a case file that judges even want to judge. This means everything I was put through, the prison time, the media slander, and the perp walks were all for nothing. It will be interesting to see how the media spins this. If they report on it at all, well, I'm reporting on it right now, my friend. There will be a heavy price to pay for all those who were involved in this. Bookmark this post. Merry Christmas. So basically, bold claim that these men are being set free. All right, that there was no legitimacy to any of the accusations, criminality, whatever. And first of all, I want to point out, community notes did say the case against the Tate brothers has not yet been dismissed. It has been returned to the prosecutors for further review. Okay, and I will get to that. But first, I do want to highlight that a lot of people instantly, for whatever reason, took the Tate brothers at face value for their word. Okay, which is a little bit sus because they are absolutely known for telling certain lies. All right. This is a funny one. I kind of feel bad for this guy, but whatever. Apparently, this is one of the top 15 real world members, which is Andrew Tate's course. So this is his reporting on it.
I am back at 19th rank on the leaderboard in the real world.
This is the 19th strongest soldier in Andrew Tate's army.
Bucharest court has made a landmark decision sending Tate's case back to DICOT due to illegal procedures and irregularities in the indictment. This marks a critical turning point as DICOT now has just 5 days to rectify case file or it may never move forward.
Right. Yes. Okay. So in reality, it's not nearly as significant as is claimed. This guy also, Benny Johnson, with almost 3 million subscribers, completely brushed over the realities here. Okay. He basically plays the taste. And same with our boy, the quartering. You can see there's a lot of coverage here, but the quartering pretty much just read headlines, just took the Tate brothers at their word, as a lot of these guys do, because they're not journalists. They're, I guess, internet reporters or whatever. And yeah, his conclusion over here I thought was pretty interesting. Let me see if I think I have the exact link. One sec.
There are things that Andrew has done, throughout history that I'm not, a big fan of. But
right, okay. I think he's referencing the fact that their empire was built off of pimping women, making them cam girls, making them fall in love with them, and then making them cam girls, and then monetizing their bodies. But okay.
I'm sure he doesn't care. You have this, you have the Fannie Willis thing. I mean, all on the same day. They built a case on whispers, but the truth shouted louder. The judge didn't dismiss the charges. He exposed the media's desperation to control the narrative. They've investigated you guys for 2 years, and conducted countless raids, and proceeded to lock you in jail for months while continuing their investigation, then filed charges while they were promptly tossed out for lack of evidence. Did everything Andrew Tate do in his life, was it always above board? I can
answer that, no. As he would admit himself many times, even brag about it in many of his old appearances on podcasts.
Oh no, I mean,
Oh, okay, sorry, he doesn't know. My bad.
Oh, I'm not a big fan of, maybe that business model, I'll say.
What business model? Why the fuck is this guy sweeping? I wonder. Well, it's pretty popular to sweep for the Tate brothers on the right. Why? Because they're very popular. And their fans are relatively ravenous, believe it or not. Yes, they're eager to kind of cover, at the very least, to not confront realities when it comes to the Tate brothers, okay? But yeah.
But, the reality is...
What's the reality, bro?
They didn't have the evidence. You would think that...
No way.
At some point...
Yeah.
If he was so guilty...
Right.
Why didn't they proceed with the case?
They are proceeding with the case. How far has this man's brain shifted outside of his skull for him to think that they're not proceeding with the case?
There are a lot of people coping and seething, saying, oh, well, a case dismissed isn't the same as vindication. Well, I would say probably, I guess technically. I don't know if he's innocent of everything, but I think what I will say, and what I have said, is that this whole thing seems very politically motivated, and it has been since day one. You cannot be a fan of Andrew Tate, and that's fine, or his brother Tristan, or their business model, or anything that they're selling, whatever that case may be. And even like the Tribune avoids trafficking trial for now. Well, are they just gonna say, well, we're gonna continue to investigate you longer? They've had 2.5 years. They've had 2.5 years to build a case, and they failed to do so. So
how have they failed? Dude, I'm actually so amazed at how big of a fucking audience people can have and literally be saying absolutely nothing. Like, literally have no fucking idea what they're talking about. But hey, I guess, what do I know, right? What do I know? Anyway, all this to say, okay, all these people kind of ran cover for Tate, okay, including Madam Candace Owens, which I'll play momentarily. But first, I do want to show you plainly, okay? Here is a friend of Andrew Tate, okay? And a guy who, honestly, I've been aware of. I used to watch his fucking workout videos when I was literally like 13 or something. Brandon Carter, all right? Brandon Carter came out, and even he saw through the bullshit, all right? And saw through to the reality, which is that, yes, this case is not over.
Big news. We got some updates in the case of the homies, Andrew and Tristan Tate. Those of y'all know, I've been friends with Andrew and Tristan since like 2018. I knew them before they were famous. Matter of fact, let me show you. So here's a picture of us back in we was in Atlanta back in.
Yeah, so Brandon Carter, okay, an OG of the men's health, self-help, whatever community. He's not ashamed to admit he is friends with and kind of rides for the Tate brothers. But when it comes to the reality of this case, this is what he has to say.
I knew the case was illegal, but just imagine being me. I'm filming this right now. Imagine being me. You just wake up after 3 years. I've been to court 100 times, and finally one of the courts go, oh yeah, it's made up. It's fucking, I'm flabbergasted. So of course it's fucking made up. Unbelievable. So it goes back to decall, just so you guys understand the Romanian system.
It goes back, right? They still got a chance to throw the homie away. So let's see.
Decall, they have 5 days to fix the file. They hit me with a second file to arrest me 1 month before the election to try and stop me from talking big, helping Donald Trump.
Right. So, by the way, that's a coke framing for the record, okay? As though, like, as if the Romanian government is purposefully trying to make moves now to prevent him from talking about Trump or whatever the fuck. That is complete coke. It's complete coke. It was a matter of the judge deeming the case to be, you know, there were certain little inconsistencies that needed to be addressed, which they were addressed.
It's made up too. So I'm
right. There is another case, right? So to be clear, there is another case.
Opens the domino effect. This one gets sent back, made up. Second file gets sent back, made up. I'm gonna be free pretty fucking soon. Wow.
All right, man. Listen, I love the homie's confidence. If Tate is nothing else, he's confident. I'm still like concerned for the homie, right? Because that just doesn't mean the case is thrown out. And there's another case.
Yeah, so that's the reality. Not only is the case not thrown out, it's not at all what happened. There's another case. Man's legal problems are nowhere near complete.
There's another case, so let's jump into it, right? Fake news week.
Anyway, okay, so Brandon will go on to talk about things I'll talk to you about. All right. The one of the #1 reporters on Tate, okay, journalist, you could say.
I'm a bad boy.
Yes, you are. Who's that?
Romania is literally one of the most socially conservative ex-USSR nations. What TF is Tate even yapping about?
Yeah, it's complete bullshit. He's just doing an appeal to persecution. You know what I mean? He's dying. He's a martyr, being crucified for the sins of the woke agenda, or the whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? The Matrix, right? In reality, there is a lot of merit to his case. Whatever you want to say, anybody who knows anything about the existing case, that man is not fucking innocent, okay? We'll see in the eyes of the law, the Romanian courts, let's be clear, what they come to the conclusion of. But to say that there is no evidence against him, that it's all complete junk, is a massive fucking lie. This guy did a breakdown of the exact actual reasoning for the judge resubmitting, basically responding to DICOT, making them make certain adjustments. Okay, so this is a summary of today's appeal decision regarding Andrew and Tristan Tate's first Romanian case. For the record, by the way, the reason that this guy knows this is because it is publicly available. The trial notes, exactly what went down, that is all publicly available information. So, ex officio irregularities was admitted as expected. This is due to a lack of clarity regarding sums subject to confiscation. It's not an issue. 2 victim statements to the court were excluded because they were taken too early. The victims will need to give their statements again. However, their statements to DICOT remain not an issue. DICOT must add additional information to the indictment regarding a victim and deliver all of the evidence for her to Tate's legal team. This appears to be procedural in nature. So far, basically, they're saying it's just a nothing burger. And then we have Andrew and Tristan's statements to DICOT were removed from the case file because they can't be used against them as they were witnesses at the time. Those statements can be given again, or they can remain silent now that they are defendants and no longer witnesses. This is a small win for the brothers. Basically, they had prior statements that can no longer be used because at the time they were witnesses. That is a tiny dub. Basically, the words that they themselves said cannot be used against them in that context. All right? And then unclear description of human trafficking offenses attributed to Georgiana Nagel and Alexandra Radu. DICOT must correct this in the indictment. This does not impact the Tate brothers. Then he says, no other evidence was excluded. This is a massive blow to the Tate brothers. The WhatsApp chats remain, okay? For those who know anything about the Tate case, a large amount of the case is built upon the evidence that exists between their WhatsApp messaging, okay? Because they were conducting a lot of their business, a lot of their very sus endeavors through WhatsApp, all right? And the courts have, or at least DICOT, they have those records. And so the fact that those remain pretty much means that a lot of the worst evidence against the Tate brothers is still on the table. So yeah. And then all computer search evidence remains, which obviously, for those who don't know, okay, the Tates were raided, right? Their compound or whatever. It was searched by DICOT, by whatever Romanian authorities. And apparently none of that has been thrown out. None of the data that was collected. So again, that's not really in any way a dub for the Tate brothers. Yeah, I now want to show you this video made by a dude named Gadget, okay? So Gadget's video, honestly, this is a solid video, okay? We're gonna just kind of react to it. And yeah.
His hearing. It is what the judge video pointing and loves. This is the Bucharest Court of Appeal portal. It is public information. Anybody can look this up. This is the ruling from yesterday's hearing. It is what the judge actually said.
Illegal. The seizure of all the money they took is illegal. We need to remove all the WhatsApp conversations which were falsely translated. Illegal. The whole
He's lying there. That's a blatant lie.
whole case is illegal. Every single thing in that fucking file was a lie.
But the judge has taken all the evidence, God bless her, and him, the two judges, and said all this evidence is bullshit and illegal and fake. Fix it. You got 5 days. DCOT, the heroes of DCOT, have 5 days to fill it with evidence that proves I'm a human trafficker when everything they worked on in 2.5 years was just thrown in the trash.
Which is a lie. It's just a blatant lie.
Let's have a look at the judge's ruling again. You just heard of all the evidence that is being removed and all the amendments that the judge is requesting of DCOT. Andrew is lying when he says that the WhatsApp messages are being removed, and these involve some of the most damning evidence in the case. An enormous majority of the evidence in the case comes from WhatsApp and text messages. None, I repeat, none of these are being removed. Again, this is what the judge actually said. You're welcome to have a look and find one part of this that proves me wrong. I encourage any Tate supporters to pause this video and find where it says that the case is being dismissed, all the evidence is being thrown out, WhatsApp messages are being thrown out, anything that these morons are saying. Now that it is established that we know what happened in court yesterday and what the judge actually said, let's take a closer look at what the clowns known as the Tate brothers were spewing to their fans. Have a look at this embarrassing garbage from Andrew.
My case was dismissed today. The judge gave a long list of illegal evidence to the prosecutor and demanded they remove it from the case file. This list of irregularities was so long that there was now nothing left. It's over.
What an absolute blithering idiot. Andrew kept...
With the accent, it kills me. He says, Russia, please don't nuke us. I just got free. Hold tight, my G, Putin. Damn. All right. He's a mask off Putin stan. Interesting. Hypersonics can wreck them and hold out for Trump. Why is Lucy calling me? Tate's free.
Telling everyone that he was free.
My haters do not understand at all what has happened today. Let them see. It's over.
And thrown out and telling them to seethe and cry. The boys posted an emergency meeting stream with the title Case Dismissed. It featured over 20 minutes of footage of the boys dancing to celebrate this made-up news.
Dude, the guys in the back look like they're not enjoying that. Damn. These boys, they're like, what the fuck? This guy's got a mask?
I have another clip to show from that stream soon, but first it's time to name and shame all of the clowns with large platforms who humiliated themselves by running propaganda for the Idiots Brothers, reporting the made-up news that the case had been dismissed. Let's start.
Okay, yeah, so our boy here compiled his own list of people who basically were sweeping for the Tate brothers, and yeah, I don't know, I think it's worth looking at the people who are overtly, you know, compromised as far as the Tate brothers go. I always am interested in seeing who and why certain people will protect others, right? So,
Candace Owens.
And after me looking into the initial case that was brought against him regarding human sex trafficking in Romania, the person that was at the pinpoint of that case, the person who brought that case forward, was a remarkably deeply troubled girl who had a pattern of doing this to about 4 or 5 men, okay? A person that was in the industry, and I read her text messages. I looked at all of the evidence. I said, this case is not going to make it. And people...
For the record, this has been largely debunked by our boy Willie Mack. Yeah, Candace Owens is absolutely covering for Tate. She is not a serious journalist, okay? In the case of Willie Mack, you can see he's got a number of very solid, in my opinion, some of his best videos showing a lot of the shady shit going on. Specifically this one is where he implicates Mrs. Owens, okay? They all lied. Both Tucker and Candace. were sweeping for Tate. So, yeah. Why would they be doing that? Oh, many reasons. Many reasons that I could think of. Aside from the potential that they're actually literally compromised because of behind the scenes information, there's also an overt potential gain that they foresaw in them getting interviews with Tate, right? So in order to get approved for an interview with Tate, it seems like there needs to be a pre-established sentiment that you're gonna glaze them. You're barely gonna push back, right? And so you see that with Patrick Bet-David getting a Tate interview. You see that with Tucker Carlson. Certainly that guy got on his fucking knees like a little doggy. And of course with Candace, right? And these interviews with Tate are massively viewed. So yeah, as far as like media moguls go, there is a boon to be had in interviewing Tate. But as far as being taken seriously as journalists, when you're fabricating certain elements of the existing